Ladies and gentlemen, we are calling the meeting to order, and let me first invite Okay, good night, everybody. I'm calling the meeting to order, and I'm inviting at this time Mr. Emmanuel Dennis to lead us in a word of prayer.
Good evening, everyone. And let's just bow our heads and reference our God in prayer. Almighty and eternal, most loving Father, we want to thank you for the opportunity, God, that you have given us, each and every one of us this evening, Lord, to be here. To be here, oh God, and to witness, oh Father, what is happening, and to listen to every word, oh Father, that is being spoken. And I pray that, dear God, that every word being spoken, oh God, will be of you. I ask that you'll continue to touch us, bless us, keep us together, oh God, and help that we'll continue to serve you, to be with you, and to work in your presence, oh God. Grant that we may continue to live, Father, a life, oh God, pleasing for you. Bless each and every person. I pray, Father, for every parliamentarian, oh God, and I ask you to lay your hand upon them. Bless them, touch them, heal them, and continue to protect them and provide them, oh God, that they may continue to serve your people. Lord, I lift up our Prime Minister before you, dear God. I pray that, oh God, in your goodness, you will continue to protect him, Father. You will continue to walk with him and give him the grace and the mercy, oh God, that he will continue to need, oh God, to serve your people whom you have called him, oh God, to serve. Lord, I ask you to continue to lay your hand upon us and bless each and every person here this evening, oh God, who have traveled near and far, oh Father, to be there. May your hand be upon us all. Grace us and bless us in your care as we continue to pray in your holy name, oh God. Amen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dennis, for that wonderful prayer. At this time, I invite Mrs. Vinaroye to give us the opening welcome and welcome all of us to this hall this evening. So put your hands together for Mrs. Roye.
Members of the head table, Honorable Johnson Drago, Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Parliamentary Representative for St. Joseph, Honorable Kelva Daru, the Attorney General, welcome to the media, and every special guest who have traveled here to be with us. I want to welcome you. But most importantly, I want to welcome tonight the people of St. Joseph. It is lovely. The fact that we waited so long, this meeting is seen by the turnout that we already have so early. So I really think we have to congratulate ourselves for turning out so well for this meeting. Tonight we are going to listen as the Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Johnson Drago, will speak to us a report on his status of agriculture. We will hear later on, as he comes on, he's not here yet, Honorable Reginald Austri, who will give us a status report on housing. Our own PAL rep will the great things that are coming to us at this time. We, of course, are waiting to hear. I'm sure everybody's excited and waiting to hear the most beloved Prime Minister in the whole of the Caribbean and in the whole world, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit. After those reports, we will have comments and questions. This is our time to speak to our servants, our ministers, and I want to urge us to do that very respectfully. I want to, let's just welcome Reggie in the way we would want you to do it. Let him pass. So we are sure we are going to have an address by Honorable Austri because he is there. I was saying that I would urge that we are very patient with each other as we will come forward to present our questions. No question and no comment has to be put aside. We will give everybody a chance to express themselves in the way they feel they can do it. Okay? So this is what I am going to urge of you. But before I take my leave, I want to just say heartfelt congratulations to those ministers. In spite of all the noise that is going on around them, they are focused. They are reporting on their stewardship, and nothing will distract them. And I think we need to say thank you to them by putting our hands together for them. So at this time, without any further ado, I want to pass on to the PAL rep, who himself is going to be the chairman for tonight. So thank you very much. Welcome everybody, and let us just sit back, relax, and enjoy Labour style good reporting. Thank you.
I'm so happy to see so many people here this evening. Sometimes I'm lost for words. I'm not normally lost for words, but tonight I'm a bit lost for words. Give yourselves a round of applause. Wow. Let me firstly begin by recognizing the presence of the Honorable Reginald Austri, the Member of Parliament for the Cottage constituency, and also the Minister of Housing, Lands and Water Resource Management. Let me also recognize the presence of Honorable Johnson Drago, the Member of Parliament for the Castlebrooks constituency, and the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries. Also, the former Member of Parliament for the Collio constituency, Mr. Ronald Tula. Welcome, sir. Mr. Emmanuel Nanton, our Ambassador Nanton, who heads the CBI program. The chairman to the lead us in prayer. And of course, the media who is here. But more importantly, I want to say a very special welcome to all of the Just Andrew in the diaspora who are listening to us on Facebook and via Kyrie FM and DBS Radio. Those Just Andrew in Guadeloupe, in Antigua, in St. Martin, in the U.S. Virgin Islands, in the U.S., New York, New Jersey, tri-state area, Miami, my family in Houston, of course, those just enjoy in the UK, and in all parts of the world, I want to say a very special good evening to you. and you are truly being missed tonight here in Matthews Hall in St. Joseph. And I want to say also, very, very special to all of you, the wonderful people of St. Joseph, who are gathered here this evening in Matthews Hall. It is so wonderful to see. And this evening, my dear friends, I know that you have been waiting in great anticipation over the last few weeks as you've listened to the cabinet town hall meetings in various communities across the country. And you here in St. Joseph, you have been wondering, when is your turn? Well, tonight is our turn here in St. Joseph City. And I want to say, my dear friends, that I am extremely happy to be here this evening, because you are the ones who have placed me here. And it is because of your confidence and your trust in me. That is why, for the last 2 terms, I have been to represent you. And I want to make it abundantly clear, my dear friends. One, two. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yes. And I was saying that I want to make it abundantly clear tonight that as long as you, the people of St. Joseph, want me to continue to represent you, and as long as the good Lord blesses me with health and long life, I will be here to represent you, the good people of St. Joseph. But very importantly, my dear friends, I can't do it alone. And that is why we have to continue to work together. We have to continue to be unified in our efforts. And though sometimes we may not all agree on certain decisions, but we have to learn to accept our faults, our mishaps, and move on. The Doctor of the Commonwealth of Dominica, right here in St. Joseph at Matthews Hall. Put your hands together for the Honorable Prime Minister, my dear friends. Thank you very much, Honorable Prime Minister. And I must say this evening, my dear friends of St. Joseph, that the Prime Minister made it a point of duty to be here in St. Joe this evening. And I was saying, my dear friends, that for us to continue to develop this community that we are all a part of, that our children are being raised in, that our grandchildren are being raised in, that our elderly citizens are living their golden lives in. For us to continue to develop this St. Joseph of ours, we have to ensure that we have the right mindset. And by having the right mindset, it simply means that we have to embrace the opportunities for development of ourselves and our children to make our families better families and to make our community a better place for all of us to live. And that is why in 2009 and in 2014, I placed a lot of emphasis on the importance of education in this constituency, and particularly in St. Joseph. And this Labour Party government, which I am proud to be a part of, has set a benchmark for education in this country. And the investments that we have made in education is unparalleled to any other investment that governments in the past have made in the area of education. And I will speak specifically this evening to the St. Joseph community and the strides that we have made in this community in the area of education advancement. Because, my dear friends, it is critical for us to continue to promote the education development here in this community. It continues to be a key that will keep us out of poverty. Education will continue to empower our young people, to provide them with the requisite skills and the knowledge that they will be able to make themselves more employable and more marketable in this world that we are living. And that is why, my dear friends, here in St. Joseph, when I visited, at that time it was not the way it was before, but the institution at the Caleb Lower Primary School for the early childhood students. And I listened to the teachers and the parents, indicating to me as a member of parliament that we need to place some emphasis on a proper early childhood facility. I listened to you because you sent me to parliament to work on your behalf. And the government of Dominica invested in excess of $60,000 to have an early childhood center established at the Caleb Lower Primary School, giving our young people, our students, the opportunity to have the requisite skills, providing an opportunity that no child of early childhood age should be left out. But we didn't stop here, because the parents came to me and they told me about the challenges they had in paying the school fees so that the teachers could have gotten a salary. And again, as a member of parliament, I listened to you. And with the introduction of the National Employment Program, I ensured that all of the teachers at the early childhood institution, their salaries are now being paid by the Government of Dominica. And the burden that the parents once had, and the teachers, the delays that they had in getting payments, that is a thing of the past. We have taken care of that. And this comes with dialogue and listening to the people. And that is what representation is about. You listen to your people, and then you act on their behalf and get things to happen. But I'm sure many of you here this evening, you may not know that right here in St. Joseph, we have scores of students who are benefiting from a transportation program by the Government of Dominica. All of the students who attend the Dominica Seventh-day Adventist Secondary School in Portsmouth, the Government of Dominica meets the cost of transportation for the students here in St. Joseph. We pay the buses because we understand that some of the students, they want to go to the high school in Portsmouth. And we have 2 buses from the community which transport our students. And we ensure that we pay the buses, so that is a burden that the parents don't have to look after. And we've gone a step further, because it was this Labour Party government under the leadership of Prime Minister Skerrit which implemented the Dominica State College, giving our students who graduate from high school and every student who is interested in pursuing tertiary level education an opportunity to attend the Dominica State College. And I can report this evening that we have 40 students who attend both the Dominica State College and the Business Training Center here in St. Joseph, who receive a transportation allowance to go to school. And again, this did not just happen. But as a member of parliament, every summer, I take the opportunity to meet with the students who attend the State College and BTC. We meet at the community center. We dialogue. We speak. We reason out. And they said, "Power Rep, we need some assistance for our transportation." Some of the parents came to me as well. And that is why, as a member of parliament, as your humble servant, I ensure that we make this provision and the students are receiving their allowance at the village council. So parents, we are assisting you. But you also have a responsibility, parents. You have to ensure that the students go to school. When they have to be in the classroom, they have to be in the classroom and not on the streets. And those of us parents here in this community of St. Joseph who are our students attending the Isaiah Thomas Secondary School, we cannot have our students loitering in the bus stop. We cannot do that because the government of Dominica is making a significant investment in education. We provide our students with uniform assistance, with school books, with school bags. And right here in this community, I believe no child should be denied an education because they do not have a school shoe or they do not have a school book. Because we have systems in place to assist. And we have to be very mindful of these parents. We also assist the students at the State College with their tuition fees. Their tuition fees. And I go to the Minister of Education on their behalf. And I tell the Minister of Education that, comrade, I have students here in my community who are attending the State College and they need the assistance for their tuition. And we assist our students. So I am playing my part as a power rep. But our young people and our parents, we also have to play our part in the education of our students. Additionally, in education, we have ensured that we provide our students at the Caleb Primary School with a meal through the school feeding program. And we've engaged our cooks under the National Employment Program. So they have the cooks here on a regular and a steady basis so the students are receiving their meals and receiving their meals on time. Because I recall a few years back, there were challenges at the school. And in my dialogue with the principal and with the parents, I made it a point of duty to ensure that under the National Employment Program, we had the cooks at the school, and now this is a thing of the past. You listen to your people, and then you get things done on behalf of your people. This is what representation is about, my dear friends. And so, ladies and gentlemen, my dear friends, here in St. Joseph tonight, I am happy because we all have our part to play towards the advancement of this community. And throughout the coming weeks, I will make available to both the primary schools here in St. Joseph, both the St. Joseph 7th Adventist Primary School and the Caleb Lower Primary School, 6 computers to each of the schools to furnish their computer labs. And again, I visited the schools. I spoke to the principal and the teachers. I went into the computer labs. And in my dialogue with the school principals, I saw the need for the computers at the schools. So we'll be making 6 computers available to each of the schools so our children can have the opportunity to do their research and to learn various programs within the technology sector, all in an effort to benefit them. Welcome, Lady A. It's good to see you. I think you have a seat right at the front. So you can come right at the front next to Mr. Tula. You go right at the front and sit down. In the area of sports and sports development for this community, tremendous support for all of the team, youngest team, the football teams, the basketball teams, the netball teams. All of these teams have received support. And for over the Easter break, our youngest team here, they will be having a major festival with a team from Antigua. A team from Antigua will be coming down in St. Joseph to play against our youngest team here. And I see Patricia is here. And I must commend Patricia for her efforts with the youngest team. Very good. Keep it up. And of course, I'll provide some support to you all. And Marilyn as well. Where is Marilyn? But some of you understand that you're retired now. Yeah, so all our ladies on the youngest team, we provide some support for you for all this thing. And I also want to recognize, in a very special way, the efforts of Mr. Delbert Daly. I'm not sure if he's here as yet. And the work that he's doing here in this community, both at the schools and also in the formation of our sports committee here in St. Joseph. Delbert has done it with the netballers. And when I visited the court on Thursday evening, she has been there with the young ladies. And she has a good core of young ladies. She is developing them in the area of netball. And we've provided them with some new rims for the netballs. We also provide the basketball with some new rims. Some massive improvements in the development. We are doing it on a phase basis. We've completed one phase, which is the washrooms. So that is now there. The next phase that we are going to commence, and I've already discussed with the Prime Minister, is the erection of the basketball stands and the resurfacing of the basketball court to include the new basketball rims and netball rims for the basketballers and the netballers. And I have before me the estimate right here for the Honorable Prime Minister, and he has already approved it. And we will begin works soon on the improvement of the basketball court, giving our young people the opportunity. Okay. All right, the league starts on Saturday, so the basketball team will be there. Of course, last year we made it to the finals, but unfortunately we lost to the police in the finals. But this year we're trying to win the championship. So my dear friends, the vision for the community in sports is a massive one. And we'll continue to improve the playing field that we have here locally. And we also have the playing field up at Hillsborough Gardens, which we will have a special meeting to discuss the development of that particular playing field. But I wanted to highlight it this evening. In the area of tourism and small business development enterprise, here in this community of St. Joseph, we have tremendous potential. And I think we need to continue to utilize that potential to the best of our abilities. We have Surprise Beach. Surprise Beach is right on our doorstep. And we've had a few activities on Surprise Beach, but I think we have to utilize the beach more. But not only that, we have to ensure that we keep the beach clean. The beach belongs to all of us. And if the beach is dirty, it impacts negatively on all of us. And that is why I had a few meetings both with the cooperative and also with some of the fishermen who attended the meeting as well, to ensure that we can work collaboratively. And some assistance was given from the Ministry of Tourism for the paving of the road going down to the beach. That has been done, and we'll continue to work along towards the development of the beach, because I believe this beach has tremendous potential. And I also want to commend those of the small businesses which are utilizing the beach, and we'll continue to have more activities on the beach. Very importantly, I know a number of you have been inquiring and asking about small business assistance. And I think here it is time that we ensure that when we receive assistance for small business, we ensure that we utilize the funds properly. And as a member of parliament, I'm letting you know this evening, list of individuals for small business assistance. I will call a meeting sometime next week, which you hear about, to invite the individuals who are interested, and those of you who already have existing businesses, to see how we can improve on it, and to also provide the technical assistance that some of you would require to set up your businesses. And as your power rep, I think it is also important that we provide you with guidelines so that when you receive the funding, you ensure that it is used properly, and at the end of the day, you can see a difference in your business, and you can also reach a stage to employ 1 or 2 people. So we will provide you the assistance. But I must also say that we have some good examples right here in St. Joseph of some good, thriving businesses. And all of us enjoy the ice cream at Beauty's Ice Cream Parlor, a very enterprising business. And I remember when Beauty decided to start this business, and she came to me for assistance, I did not hesitate, because I saw the positiveness in her. And I realized that she wanted to do something for herself as a single mother. And today she has set up a wonderful business here in the community of St. Joseph that all of us can benefit from. And we need to talk about more existence. The Prime Minister will know that the St. Joseph community is ready, and when he provides the assistance, he knows that it will be put to good use here in this community. Another very important area I want to touch on is that of housing and sanitation here in the community of St. Joseph. And I want to begin by saying that as a member of Parliament, as a humble servant, I have listened to a lot of you, and I've also visited a lot of you at your homes, and you've shown me the conditions of some of your homes. And some of your homes need repairs. Some of you have come into the office, the constituency office. You have met with me one-on-one. You have brought in your invoices for assistance. And I want to give you the assurance this evening that we are going to undertake here in St. Joseph the needs here in this community. Because in my interactions with you, this has been one of the critical areas, the critical needs here in the community, housing. And most of you here this evening, in my interactions with you, you may have mentioned it to me in some way or the other. So we are going to undertake a comprehensive housing, and those of you who have not yet come in and brought in your names and your invoices, you have the opportunity to do so. I will continue to visit your homes to see the conditions. We will get proper estimates done, because we want to ensure that we do a complete job. So if you require 15,000 worth of materials to do a complete job, we will provide you with the $15,000 to do a complete job and not give you half and half. Because we want to make a significant difference and improve your housing needs. So this is a need in the community, and we will address that need. And I also want to add to this a footnote, that the program is one that is done in phases, and the Minister of Housing is here, and I'm sure he'll speak more to that. So if you see a few people receiving assistance, my dear friends, let us get them off the list. And just know that your turn is coming. So just bear a bit of patience, because we cannot do everybody at the same time. So we're going to do it on a phase basis, but we want to do a proper job. I have also recognized, as a member of Parliament and in my interaction with some of you, that we may have to do a complete house for some of you here in this community, particularly some of the single mothers and some of the elderly people here in this community. We may have to do a complete job. And again, I have visited some of the homes, I have seen the conditions, so I know exactly what I'm talking about. I won't call anybody's name tonight, but I will just say this. And I rest assured that you have the assurance that those of you who have spoken to me, we will again assist you, because some of you need a complete structure. And this is something that you have identified, and I have a responsibility as a member of Parliament to bring your concerns to the respective minister or to the Prime Minister where possible. So both the Minister of Housing and the Prime Minister this evening, and I'm speaking on your behalf, Jasenjo. Additionally, under the sanitation program, we will continue with the washroom programs here in this community. And I have already gotten a list from the residents of the community. I've already discussed the list with the Prime Minister, and I'm hoping that when the Prime Minister comes to address you this evening, he will make a commitment to the community of St. Joseph. Again, In my interactions with the residents, the issue of village expansion continues to be a critical area. We've already constructed 30 houses at Hillsborough Gardens, which are all occupied. We've begun the process of selling lots at Hillsborough Gardens, and I must say, quite a number of young people from the community of St. Joseph have begun constructing their homes at Hillsborough Gardens, and this is a positive thing for the community. Because when these young people are working hard and they go to the banks and take a loan to construct their houses, it is a positive thing. And I want to mention this evening that we are currently undertaking a project at Hillsborough Gardens to develop some additional roads, and once this is completed, we will be making available to the residents of St. Joseph an additional 20 lots at Hillsborough Gardens for you, the residents of this community. I know many of you have already filled in the forms. Many of you have spoken to me, and we will make these lots available to you. We will also put in the additional infrastructure, the lights, and the water to ensure that you have basic necessities at your home. And this is what this Labour Party government is about. Because whenever we sell land as a government, we ensure that we do a complete job. The infrastructure is in place, and my good friend and comrade, the Honourable Minister of Housing, is here. So right now we have 2 contractors from St. Joseph engaged in the road, and once the road is completed, we will make an additional 20 lots available for you. And I've been advised by the lots should be ready for sale by May month and June. That's the advice that I've gotten today from the ministry. So by this time, the lots should be ready. But we will also, because this Labour Party government is a caring government, we will also ensure that we take care of some of the individuals who are unable. If proper, we have no more space. So we have to now look at village expansion. And there are still more lots available at Hillsborough Gardens. And I'm hoping that as the funds become available, we can provide more lots towards the advancement and the expansion of this community called St. Joseph. You would have seen here in the community as well that we have gone on a drive to erect street lights and to light up this community. And I see the first person to clap was Nilman Gage, because they were saying, Power Rep, in front of our house there's too dark, man. Right there on the road there, man. That's too dark, man. But now, Nilman doesn't know the difference between daytime and nighttime. So Nilman, I don't know if the light is too bright for you, but we've done several in the community. The residents of Hillsborough Gardens, they've also, as you take the corner heading up to Hillsborough Gardens on the hill, very dark area, there is now a street light here, and we've also identified several other areas for the erection of street lights. And I must commend this evening the chairman and the councillors of the St. Joseph Village Council for working together with us to ensure that we can have these street lights erected. And I see Mr. Eric Siran is here, and of course my good friend Emily, a long-time serving councillor. So we'll continue to erect the street lights. So we did an extra 20. Also the residents of on One Pika, they also have some light. We just newly erected lights up there. So very good. And also the residents up at Wavin Simit, they also have some new lights erected there as well to brighten the place and provide security. Ochobando is fully lit now, so you can see all the way up Ochobando. In the area of roads and infrastructure for the community, the farmers of the Lai Valley who are here from St. Joseph, you would know by now that we are well advanced on the York Valley Bridge project. This is fully completed. This is a gift that we received from the government of China after the collapse of the Mati Dam back in 2011. And I'm very pleased with the work I've seen thus far. And again, I met with the farmers of the Lehigh Valley area to tell them about the project. And they brought to me their concerns as a power rep because they had to take an alternate route. And we ensured that we provided the farmer with some assistance. And we'll also be doing some additional work in the Lehigh Valley. I see my good friend Grievous here, and he'll tell you that we've started some works in the Argyle area. We've done some work in the Attle area and the Krong area. And with the rainfall that we have, there's still some more work that we have to do. And so it's an ongoing process, but we have a long-term plan for these feeder roads in the Lehigh Valley area. And the plan is to ensure that we do a complete job. And this will be done under the second phase of the BAM. But I will leave that for the minister until this evening. Also, the government has launched a massive program for the rehabilitation and construction of all village roads. Here in St. Joseph, most of our roads in the community, they are well paved. We have a few more that we have to address. So we'll commence work on the Church Lane Road that is next to Genteress, coming down to Genteress here. We all know that. You can use that road to the health center. So we're going to complete the works on that road. We will also do the road by Nurse in Church Lane there. I see you there, Nurse. Next to the health center, we'll complete that road as well. And also the road in Sias. We will also complete all of the footpaths that we have not completed in the community. So this will be the first phase of this project that we will undertake in St. Joseph. The other communities, Layu, Mirror, Bells, they will also have road projects similar to these taking place. But I'm only speaking to St. Joseph this evening. Additionally, one of the major projects that we're going to undertake, we're going to do the road right here, this main road right here. From the bridge by the gas station, all the way back to the public convenience in Layu. We're going to do some massive work on that road. And I'll give you a bit of details. We're going to rip off the entire road, surface of that road, and do a complete concrete road, proper structure, with drainage, and we're also going to put some Gaben baskets, and where practicable, we're going to do some walls as well. And then we're also going to light it up with street lights. Now I will tell you that we have to downscale this project, and I'll tell you why. Because after thinking it through again, it'll be more practical because we only have one government. We only have one government. That we use some of the funds that were intended to do more work in that area directly in the community to fix people's houses and to ensure that we have proper housing and sanitation in the community. Don't you agree with me? Yes. Because even if we're to do all of the works here, you still come and say, Power Rep, my roof's still leaking. Power Rep, I need a house. And so we have to prioritize. We have to ensure that we have our priorities straight. Because it's only one government. And the Prime Minister will tell you that although I have only one constituency, which is St. Joseph, Honorable Drago has only one, which is Cassibros, Honorable Austria has only one, which is Cottage. But the Prime Minister has to look at the entire country. And there's only one treasury. So I'm happy that tonight you've understood why we had to change the focus of that road and inject more of that money into the community to fix people's homes, to provide the washrooms and other necessities that you require. But we will still do a wonderful piece of work there to ensure that we have a complete surface done, put in the walls where necessary, the drainage where necessary, and light it up. So you can walk there in the night, you can jog there in the night, and you can even go there and have a social activity in the night. Very importantly, my dear friends, and I think this one is very dear to my heart. And the reason I say so is because for a number of times, the farmers of the Kahom, Cuba, Mero area they've come to me as a member of parliament, and they've lamented the cause of the farm access road in the Cuba-Cahome area. This project is very dear to my heart because I have driven that road several times. And I understand the condition that the farmers up there, who are very productive farmers, when you have farmers like Corvin Charles, a hard-working farmer, a number of other farmers in the area, who utilize that road on a daily basis to access the farms. I could not sit back as a power. Even during my election campaign, we would get this road done. And this evening, I'm happy to report to you, and listen carefully, I'm happy to report to you that actual works have started on the Cahome-Cuba road this evening. So I'm not telling you that contracts are going to be signed. I'm not telling you that monies are going to be made available. I am telling you that men are working on that road as I speak. And I went up there yesterday and I saw work being done and I was pleased with the work. And we have a number of contractors from the constituency working on that project. This project is costing the government of Dominica $2 million to do that entire road. And the Prime Minister this evening, and I really want to express on behalf of the farmers and the residents of St. Joseph PM our gratitude to you for making the funds available for that road. Because they can say what they want about Prime Minister Skerrit, but our PM cares. Our PM drove that road from one end to the next, and he himself saw the condition, and he realized that he had to make the funds available. And so, now that work has started, every truck, every mixer, every bobcat, every man in this community will find work on that road. And I need to make this critical point this evening. And I really want to thank the farmers for their understanding and their patience. Because my farmers in St. Joseph and Miro, they didn't protest, they didn't block roads, they didn't stone the police. No! Because as the Member of Parliament, I visited the farmers on their farms. I drove that road, I met with the farmers in little groups. I explained to them what the process was. And that is why they understood. And that is why they brought patience. Because they knew that that road would be done, because I had given the commitment that it would have been done. And it is being done as I speak. And I really want to thank the farmers. And that is what leadership is about. So when you hear the opposition just talking, my dear friends, when you're in opposition, you can say anything. You can say anything. But when you're in government, it's a different story. And that is what this Labour Party government continues to prove, that leadership is everything, and the Prime Minister leads from the front. And to my farmers here in St. Joseph, we will make available to you, in the first instance, 200 bags of fertilizer for the farmers here in St. Joseph. Give you the inputs to go back to your farms. And the Minister of Agriculture is there tonight, and he will tell you that I've already come to him and made that request on behalf of my farmers here in St. Joseph for a first installment of 200 bags of fertilizer for the farmers here in the community to go back to their farms. I also want to touch on the issue of some of our social programs in the community. We have the 70 and over allowance. We have the Yes We Care program. We have the National Employment Program. All of these programs did not, because our Prime Minister was able to formulate these programs and to ensure that these programs became a reality. Because I recall going to Miro one afternoon, walking on the beach, and seeing a 75-year-old man there discussing with him and telling me that he has been a fisherman for all his life. And now at this age, he's not receiving any social security, any pension. And I'm sure every member of parliament who is there this evening can attest to that same kind of story, where you meet individuals in your constituency who come to you as a parliament and tell that to you. And the Prime Minister to moving around the country. And that is how the Prime Minister decided to make funds available for our senior citizens, 70 and over, so that they can have some assistance. And this program started with $200, and now it is $300. And we have, here in St. Joseph, we have 86, just St. Joseph alone, 86 of our elderly citizens, senior citizens, who are receiving that assistance from the Labour Party government. Under the National Employment Program, here in St. Joseph, we have quite a number of our people engaged. Those who are engaged under the cleanup and beautification, those who are under the Yes to Care program, those who are engaged under the school feeding program, the roving caregiving program, those who have jobs within the private sector, a number of them are engaged. And I want to continue to encourage you, the young people who are engaged under these programs, to ensure that you give your best efforts. Ensure that you give your best efforts, because what you put in, that's what you will get out. And this evening, I know that there are many more of you who've come to me as a parliament and said, Parliament, we want to get engaged under the NEP. And the Prime Minister this evening, and he, when he speaks, I'm sure he will indicate to you the amount of people from St. Joseph alone who we are going now to take on, some new people under the National Employment Program, to continue to develop and to bring this community to new heights. So as your parliament, I've listened to you again. And most of you have already filled in the forms. We've brought the forms in, but we now need to get you started. For this community, we are in Murphy's Hall this evening. It's very accommodating. Sometimes we utilize the community center where you have the court. The post office is also here. But I believe in this community, it is time that we have our own community center in St. Joseph. And also our marketplace. It is high time. Because when I go to the market on the start of the morning and I see Brenda Lee there selling her seasoning and her carrots and her sweet potato, and I got very good rank off, very good watercress. We have to ensure that we have a proper facility. We already have the land in the St. Joseph. It's right in front of us. We have the land already. And we are going to begin to put the designs and the costing in place for us to have our own community center here in this community. And I'm giving you the assurance here as a member of parliament that we will begin work on this community center before the next elections. We will begin work on this community center before the next elections. Because I believe it's a need in this community. And in this facility, we'll provide the opportunity for training for young people. We can now have the resource center as part of the community center. We can have a nice elevation for the elderly citizens and those who are wheelchair bound. So it will be a modern facility, a facility for the times. And we'll provide the area for those who do the market and the vending. So it will be a complete structure that we can call ours, that we can say this is St. Joseph and we have our own facility. Because I believe it is about time that we have this here in this community. It is also important, my dear friends, and I'm coming to a close, that we continue to look at how best we can control the situation with our waste here in this community. I'm talking about disposal waste, garbage. Because St. Joseph is a community that belongs to each and every one of us. And if the garbage truck does not come when it's supposed to come, we have a responsibility to manage our waste from our homes properly. We cannot be throwing waste material all over the place for dogs to come and rodents. We cannot be doing that. And the village council is here, and I'll be working together with the council and together the health team here in this community to ensure that we can put a proper structure in place for the disposal of waste. If it means that we have to get a truck in the community when the garbage truck doesn't come, we have to do it. But we do not want to see waste on the side of the roads. This has to be a thing of the past here in the community of St. Joseph. And all of us have a right and a responsibility to play in this. Because I'm only one person. And like I always say, I'm just a parent for now. So what you are doing, it affects all of us. Tomorrow morning, somebody could be the next parent. Next year, it could be somebody else. In 5 years' time, it could be somebody else. That if we have a mindset that all of us are being affected. All of us. So we have to take collective responsibility for our waste. And I know the people of St. Joseph, they are very good listeners, and I believe we can work together to achieve this. I also want to say publicly this evening that I know sometimes that some of you come to the office on a Thursday, and there are some Thursdays that I've been in Bells, in Miro, or Layo, or visiting projects in the constituency. And you may not get the opportunity on a particular Thursday to see me. I've identified this, and one of the things I'm going to put in place is to ensure, and I'm making the day available, and there are some of you who are working, and you may not have the time when I'm in the office during the morning times to come to the office. So I'm going to make available a Wednesday evening from between 5 to 8. 3 hours on a Wednesday, starting in April. So those of you who don't have the opportunity here in St. Joseph to come to the office and see me on a Thursday, you can take the opportunity on a Wednesday afternoon from 5 to 8. I'm giving you 3 hours. The secretary is here. She'll put a notice indicating that the power rep will be at the office, and you are able to see the power rep. So I'm making myself more available to you, the people, because I represent you. And I have to make myself available to you. Additionally, I will also continue the home visits. And I love to come to your homes. Although sometimes when I come to your homes, some of you just smile, man. And you're still afraid to talk to me. So just smile. But it shows the love and appreciation. Because sometimes all you need is a hug from your parent. That's all you need sometimes. So I will continue to do that and make myself more available to you. Because at the end of the day, my dear friends, representation is about people. That's what it's about. It's about people. You have elected me, and I have an obligation and a responsibility to represent you. That's what it's about. There has to be a cordial relationship. Like I said earlier on, we may not agree all the time, but at the end of the day, we have to put our differences aside and work together for the community. And that is why I see so many of you this evening. And I also want to welcome Dr. Ferrara, son of the soil in St. Joseph. Doc, good to see you. Right there, Dr. Ferrara, very well, Dr. Ferrara, son of the soil. And I will continue, my dear friends, to represent you and to make representation on your behalf in Parliament. Because at the end of the day, I remain your humble servant. God bless you. I love each and every one of you. God bless you. Thank you very much. At this time, to continue, I will call to the podium my friend and my colleague, the Honorable Johnson Drago, Member of Parliament for the Cassius constituency, and the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries.
Thank you very much. My good friend, the Honorable Kelvedaro. Let me, first of all, recognize in a very special way the Honorable Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit, Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica, the Honorable Reginald Ostry, the Minister for Housing, Lands and Water Resource Management. Let me also recognize my cabinet colleagues who are here this evening, the Honorable Levi Peter and the Honorable Lady Catherine Daniel. Let me also recognize in a very special way the former Pal Rep for the Collio constituency, Mr. Toulon. I also recognize Ambassador Nantan. I also recognize some powerful individuals from the St. Joseph constituency, the Dr. Ferrara, your PS, Privo, and also let me recognize you, the good people of your parliamentary representative, the persons listening on radio. I have also a few of my constituents who are here with me tonight. Thank them for being here. And let me say a very special good night to all of you. What you may not know is that I have strong family ties with St. Joseph. The owner of my granduncle, Haywood Math, he was the sister of my granny, the brother rather of my grandmother, Tita Matthew of Cassius. So I look forward to visiting St. Joseph and meeting families. I have some good friends in Otobrando, on the hill and so on. So I always look forward to visiting St. Joseph. But I want to thank, in a very special way, your parliamentary representative for inviting me here tonight. As you know, we started the journey together, and we've been supporting each other through it all. But I want you to know, you the people of St. Joseph, that you have a powerhouse in the cabinet of the Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. Put your hands together for your parliamentary representative. Collapse. How hard. But with you, within the Ministry of Agriculture, which your Labour Party government is implementing for your advancement in the criticisms that are being laid on agriculture, because I know the farmers who are toiling every day in agriculture are working very, very hard. We have been assisting farmers with inputs, and the ministry, the government had to create a facility in Dexter to bring in fertilizer in order that we can keep up, because the private sector could not have kept up with the demand of fertilizer the farmers were requesting. So the government created a facility at Dexter where Dexter is importing fertilizer and selling to farmers to keep up with the demand. Apart from the additional fertilizers we've been giving out of the PAM and Morocco, the farmers has been demanding fertilizer to keep up with their farms. But I want to speak to you first of all on the $10 million facility at the Aid Bank. And I'm happy to see so many of you here tonight. Government created this $10 million facility at the Aid Bank to provide for you, the farmers of St. Joseph, of Layu, of Mero, working capital to expand your farm. And as I always say, quite a few of our farmers are aging. You've toiled, you have worked hard, and you've reached a stage where you cannot give all of the hours your customer have given to your farm. Today, you need a facility to assist you in employing a few persons to bring in that farm labor that you need. With all of the pests and diseases that we have around, treating your plants are not as easy as it used to be. So therefore, you need a bit more chemicals. All of this costs money. The market out there demands top quality produce. And so you, the farmer, there's a greater demand on you to meet the market requirement. And so your government, the Labour Party government, has created this facility at the Aid Bank for you. And we want you, the farmers of St. Joseph, to take advantage of that facility. There is a saying that the facility are not for small farmers. This is certainly not true. The facility is, first of all, though you, the farmers who have been doing your mixed farming in Dashin, your plantains, your potatoes, your yams. And so, under this facility, for the first 1,000 to 15,000, no collateral is required, but you must have a guaranteed market for your produce. And this is very important, my dear people. In the past, our farmers farm, they harvest their produce, and they would tie them on the roadside, hoping that a huckster would pass. And they would have gotten a sale. I can tell you in the area where I come from, in Good Hope, I have seen farmers with bags of ginger packed on the roadside, hoping that a huckster would pass. Today, we are saying to you, the farmers who are interested in agriculture, it's a business. The bank is saying to you, the farmers who may require between $1,000 and $15,000, your main guarantor for a loan is to demonstrate to the bank that you have a guaranteed market. So therefore, we want you to work with the hucksters. We want you to work with the exporters who are exporting our produce. And to make nobody fool you, every week, tons upon tons of produce leaves Dominica for all of the islands. So there is market for our agriculture. All of the islands in the north, from Guadeloupe all the way to the US Virgin Islands. Because we still produce the best agricultural produce in the Caribbean, in the entire Caribbean. Our fruits are more succulent. Our fruits are better quality because we get an adequate supply of rain, and our soil are rich soil, and therefore the market is there for you. So for those of you who has been farming for all of these years, and you intend to continue in farming, you must decide the crops that you want to invest in. You must work with your market personnel, your exporter, but all farmer from St. Joseph, you have up to $15,000 available through this $10 million facility without any collateral. You go to your extension office, you get a report from your extension officers indicating that you've been farming for all of these years. You are working with this exporter, whoever that person may be, or this huckster, and you go to the Aid Bank and you start negotiating for your loan. But we need to stop there, because we are interested in the small farmers, and we are also very much farmers to meet the volume that the market is requesting. I have said it before, one of the challenges we've had in agriculture is lack of consistency. We secure a market, and make no mistake, we have been working as a team. The synergies between the Ministry of Agriculture and the Ministry of Trade is strong. When we go out as a team. Very early in 2016, the Minister of Trade, the Honorable Ian Douglas, and we led a team into Matnik to discuss with the buyers out there in Matnik how we are going to ensure that we take advantage of the Matnik market. They gave us some of the challenges that they face with Dominica's produce. And of course, one of the main areas were our lack of consistent supply of any product. And so we are happy today, government made well over $500,000 available to our boat owners. They have been accessing these funds, they've been retrofitting their boats, and we can send out more produce to Matnik, and we are happy that we are doing that because of the initiative and the collaboration between the two ministries. So there is market for you, my dear people, but you must take agriculture serious. Gone are the times when you can just go up to your farm and just do a couple of hours and go back home. Agriculture is a business. It's your livelihood. And if you are a farmer, you must be a serious farmer. You cannot be satisfied with just a couple bags and that's it. You have to maintain the market that you have secured. I was speaking to Windfresh representative yesterday evening, and we are now exporting 2 containers of dashing to the UK market every month, a 20-foot container fortnightly. And he's saying for the time being, he's taking most of this dashing from the area. Most of the dashing is coming from Bell's area. He intends to, so is looking forward to exporting potatoes and other crops to the European market. But the farmers must be serious. The farmers will have to enter into a contract to supply to that market. So don't be scared about what you're hearing about agriculture is dead and there's no market. There is market, my people. Secondly, for you, the commercial farmers, between $15,000 is one guarantor. The bank, it's a business. So you're asking for $40,000. It means that you're a serious commercial farmer. You may need one guarantor. Between $30,000 and $75,000, all you need is a guarantor and proof of access to land under cultivation. And this is very important. You would have to demonstrate that you are a serious farmer. Over the years you've been involved in farming and you have a serious market. So my dear people, those of you interested in commercial farming, please take advantage of this facility at the Aid Bank. It was designed to assist you, the farmers, in expanding your acreage. So we want farmers to move into larger acreage. But don't forget one of the most important factors. You must work with the markets out there. You must know who you are producing for, but you're not just producing. This is why we had a glut of dashing. After we gave the farmers all of the fertilizer, over 40,000 from the BAM, 9,000 from the government of Morocco, farmers went into planting. And I can tell you we had yams and we had dashing. Dashing is ready to harvest between 6 and 8 months. So therefore all of this dashing came into readiness at the same time and we ended up with a glut. We do not want that. But we want you to make money, you the farmers, to make money. So I want you, the St. Joseph farmer, who is working on this quarter acre and this half acre, who is working on this 4 acres, to go out there, diversify your farm, go into mixed cropping. There must be some pumpkin under the plantain so that you could harvest your pumpkin before, within 3-4 months pumpkin ready. You will harvest your pumpkin while you're waiting for the 9 months for your dashing, for your plantain to start bunching. So I want you to do those things. The ministry is there to support you. Additionally, I want you to take advantage of all of the experts, trained, professional, government is employing in all of the regions across the island. You, the farmers, go to your extension office and invite them to your farm. Do not wait on the extension officers to come to you. You may have a challenge. But you go to them and you invite them to your farm. Let them know you are interested in agriculture as a business and you need their support, because this is what we are paying them for, to work for you, the farmers, to serve you, to be there with you, to work with you, and to support you through it all. So go to the extension office in your area, and I'm speaking to farmers across the island. I need you to go, to make some time and go to the offices and challenge the officers and invite them to your farm and get the support you need, because you cannot do it alone, especially with all of the diseases that we have these days. And they have to come. Farmers come to my office and they say to me, I do not know who my extension officer is. If we are serious about agriculture, this cannot continue. You must know who your extension officer is in your locality. And the only way you can know is by going to the offices. So please, my dear St. Joseph farmers who are thinking seriously about taking advantage of this facility, you will not succeed if your extension officers of your area is not with you. And they're being paid to be with you. I also want to say to you, the farmers and the exporters, and this one is for the exporters in particular, you must use the pack houses that the government has constructed to ensure that we send quality produce out of Dominica. I saw a picture of some cartoons living in Dominica recently, and all of the cartoons were bulging out. They were all overpacked. The cartoons were stressed out. If a cartoon is designed for 40 pounds, there must be no more than 40 pounds in the cartoon. By doing so, you are destroying the market out there, because we have competition. St. Vincent is moving products up north. Grenada is moving heavily to Trinidad. Dominican Republic, with its much larger landmass, with all of its flats, and is able to mechanize its farming, they are now moving bananas and dashing into Antigua. So we have competition, and therefore we must ensure that all of packing for export in your basement must become the thing of the past. So all of our hucksters out there who traditionally would pack their produce in a shed, we cannot continue doing that, because we have to meet the standard the market demands. And we must encourage all of our hucksters and other exporters to use the facilities at Hoodbridge Bay, at Amroso, and in Portsmouth, the packing houses that we have constructed. So that's an encouragement to you, the exporters. I call it the pack house, because I know we're exporting thousands upon thousands of cartons weekly. And I ask, how many of these exporters are making use of the pack houses? And it's just a handful. Just a handful. It's a good thing that itself has a structure in place. Christophine, you just name it. But for the hucksters, they are not taking advantage of the facility. And it was built to ensure that we meet the standards required for entering all of the markets out there. So I'm encouraging our farmers to do so. I also want to spend a few moments on the National Abattoir. As you know, the National Abattoir was constructed in this constituency, and I think I was told by Mr. Blackmore that the abattoir shares two constituencies. But the abattoir was built in Lyle Park to assist our pork and poultry farmers. And we are very happy that since we started operating at the abattoir, over 12,000 birds have been slaughtered, over 200 pigs, and we also provide a service to our farmers who, with their own markets out there. So a farmer who is supplying to Whitchurch, he can take his animals, his birds, provide a wholesome, fresh, clean, neat product to the market. But we want you, the people of St. Joseph, to buy into supporting the abattoir. You may not know that, but of the 11 staff at the abattoir, 7 of the staff are from this area, the communities of these localities. So that's just over 70% of the staff is coming from this area. The intention of the abattoir is to ensure that we make a dent in the $14 million meat import annual bill. The only way we can achieve that is if more of the Dominican consumers continue to purchase chicken and pork from the abattoir. Now, I took some blows for saying that the meat coming from the abattoir will be slightly more expensive. But I couldn't be bothered with the people who criticize me for saying that. It's a fact. We have to import everything for the farmer. The feed is expensive. The birds are presently coming from Barbados. Electricity is high. I'm hoping that when we get geothermal going, but this is way down the line, we will have an ease on our electricity bill. But for now, the cost of production at the abattoir, it's a bit money out of his product. But the cheap chicken that you are buying, it's mass produced overseas. The labor is much cheaper in Brazil than in Dominica, because that's where most of your chickens are coming from. So they can mass produce and flood the entire globe with the chicken. But we are saying to you that we are producing here in Dominica a top quality product. You do not know how long the chicken is coming refrigerated, those that we are importing. But you know that the chicken from the abattoir, it is slaughtered on Tuesday, and by Thursday it's on the market. So you're getting a fresh produce. So please, my dear people, as I said to the restaurant owners, give us smaller portions. We do not need a thigh and a drumstick in a $12 plate of food. We need a few chopped pieces of chicken, but fresh chicken from the abattoir, and we'll be satisfied. So if every restaurant in Dominica start buying their chickens from the abattoir and putting their order every Monday for the supplies that they need, could you imagine how many young men we would ask to go into producing them for the abattoir? And this is what we want. And could you imagine if we can say to an additional 10 young people from the St. Joseph area, we now have jobs for you at the abattoir because Dominicans have improved their consumption of chicken. So we have work to do, my dear people. For dear sake, let us eat more local produce. Let's eat our local carrots. Let's eat all of, because we import a lot of carrots in Dominica. We don't have to import carrots in Dominica. There is enough carrot at the market. I deliberately passed at the market this afternoon, and the market is getting ready for tomorrow, Friday. And you must see the trays, how beautiful they look, with the traditional vegetables from the Rosa Valley and St. Joseph too. So we have to buy those things. We must put more celery in our pots and parsley in our pots. We don't need boayo. We do not need, what's the other one? Curry. So let's support what is ours. Do you know that whenever you buy a small packet of celery, you are supporting a small farmer backyard gardener from the valley or from St. Joseph? Are you aware of that? But if you buy a bottle of celery on the shelves with the little top that you have to open and shake and sprinkle over, these things, we must stop them and support ours. So my dear people of St. Joseph, I'm sharing with you these informations because I believe that we can do better to support what is ours in this country. And we must stop bad talking our hard-working farmers. Our farmers are working very hard to keep the industry going. But if we continue to cry them down and we do not support them, we will not reap the entire benefits from the abattoir. So the abattoir is ours. It is here to stay. The success of the abattoir. I also want to share with you, and your Parrot mentioned that we are presently investing some $23 million in feeder roads across the island. Government has identified an additional, for the European Union, $5 million to go into feeder roads that are not covered under the BAM. So we are talking about approximately $50 million being invested in feeder roads at this time. My dear people, if a government is investing $50 million in feeder roads, isn't that support for the agricultural sector? If your government has given you, between the latter part of 2015 and 2016 and 2017, over 30,000 bags of fertilizer in the industry, isn't that support for the agricultural sector? If your government spent well over $8 million to build facilities to ensure that we meet the standard the market requires, isn't that support for agriculture? If your government makes over $500,000 available for on lending to our boat, take advantage. And the persons who are making money, you too can make money if you take it serious. So don't be distracted at all. And as we speak, we are presently clearing 9,000 bags of fertilizer on the port to be given to you, the farmers. And we're talking about the 50 kilogram bags, the big bags of fertilizer, to support you and your efforts. And your parrot said it right. We will be making available 2 cents. But there's a catch. And that's why we come to what we talk about, the farmers group. I hope you, the St. Joseph farmers, are part of a group. Some of us, we just want to benefit without putting any hard time into the efforts. You must be part of a group structure where you meet and you discuss the challenges that you will face in farming as a group, and your PAREP can make proper representation on your behalf when it comes to cabinet, and we together can respond collectively, because if we have to respond to every individual, it's going to be a huge task. But we can respond to you collectively in the same way that we are doing for the Bells farmers. We need to do the same thing for St. Joseph farmers as well, so that we can support you, and you are a force to be reckoned with. So therefore, my dear people of St. Joseph who are in farming, please ensure that you register with the farmers group. Please ensure that you support the farmers group, and therefore you will be able to take advantage of all of the opportunities we are given. So we've been given all of this fertilizer. We've been investing in the feeder roads. Presently, all of the PAREPs are preparing the number of feeder roads that deserves attention, apart from those that we're doing under the BAM. And we will have the engineers come to visit your feeder road, and we will have the proper estimates for this road, so we can provide a proper document for the EU, so that they can assist us in rehabilitating all of these feeder roads. I just want to share on one more thing that is of interest to you here, the people of St. Joseph, and it's the whole question of fishing. You have been fishing in St. Joseph all of your lives, but we've reached a stage where we are taking fishing to another level. Just recently, the Japanese were here, and they spent over $4 million retrofitting our fisheries freezers in Roseau. Right now, we have what we call FADs, fisheries aggregating devices, all across the island, where our fishers can go out. I know for you in St. Joseph, you are heavily interested in your fish pot fishing, but with the facilities that we have at the Aid Bank, you can go to the Aid Bank to get your soft loan to assist you in purchasing a few more fish pots. For those of you with your outboard motor engines, some of you, you have it for a while. An engine is about $18,000. You can go to the Aid Bank. Fisheries Division is there to assist you. And I am very encouraged for what is happening in fishing in Dominica, because I know right now we are producing over 90% of the fish that we consume locally in this country. All of the fish landing sites are doing very, very well. And I know Dominicans love their fish and they are fishing. There is money to be made. But times have changed. And you can't just walk with a pail and a shell with the scale inside the fish in the pail, walking around blowing poop, 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 selling fish. Fish is now a business. And we're encouraging our fishermen to go out with their ice boxes. So when you have your catch, you land with your catch on ice. And when you're going out there to sell your fish, it's in a proper cooler on ice at all times. Because you know fish spoil very fast. I remember the days when they used to bring fish in Casabros coming from these areas. And by the time they reach Casabros, flies fall in the van. Because the cooler was gone. It took all the sun going for the interior. So I'm saying to you, the people of St. Joseph, that we will continue to buy your fish. But when you're going out to sell fish, it must be properly preserved. You must go out with your ice, put your fish in your cooler on ice. When you come on shore, continue with the coolers, fish on ice, and you go out there and sell your fish, and we give our consumers a wholesome product. So fishermen, take advantage of the opportunity at the Aid Bank and go and get your soft loan just for fishing. Because this is what the funds are there for. It's not only for agriculture, it's for fishing as well. And if you have any challenge, you can come to the fisheries division and let them assist you, or you can come to the ministry. And the Prime Minister, I heard him saying to the farmers, if they're facing any challenge, come to him directly. His office is open to you. So we want to support you, but we want you to maintain your family in your business. And finally, my dear farmers, my final advice to you tonight, you must register with the Dominica Social Security if you are doing either fishing or agriculture, because you need to be part of the same self-employment scheme at the Dominica Social Security, so that when you retire from fishing, you have a pension equal to anybody who works with any company. And one of the challenges that we faced is that persons who have worked in the agricultural sector and in fishing, they are now of age 70 years, and they do not have any retirement structure. So you, the young men who are thinking of register with DSC, Dominica Social Security, immediately. And we want more young farmers to go into agriculture. I am putting an appeal out there to persons who own this large parcels of land, all of these acres, and they can no longer work it. Start thinking of leasing the land for the young farmers, and we will support them, because there's too many idle land on the island, and most of them belongs to persons who have retired. So you may not want to sell, but enter into a lease agreement with these young farmers, because they're coming to me and they're telling me, Mr. Drago, my challenge now, I do not have land, any crown land out there anymore. So we are saying to you, the landowners, to get all of this land cultivated, you must please enter into lease agreements with persons who want to go into agriculture. But rest assured, agriculture will continue to be one of the pillars, engine of growth for this country. Because I can assure you, annually millions of dollars are coming into this country for agriculture, whether it's for fishing or agriculture. So please, my dear farmers, my office is open to you. I want to thank you for listening to me tonight. And I want you to know that the government is behind you, government will support you, and you can never go wrong if you are a farmer or a fisherman. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Johnson Drago. And I saw lips not smiling when you were speaking about the fishing. Yes, I shall. Let me recognize the presence of my good friend and my colleague, Mr. Nichols Shanks Esprit. Put your hands together for Mr. Esprit. It's good to see Mr. Esprit. At this time, we will right on, and I'd like to call to the podium the powerful my good friend, the Honorable Reginald Austri, the Minister of Housing and Water Resource Management, Member of Parliament for the Cottage constituency, to address you. Mr. Austri.
See, Kelvin must realize I'm not as small as when I come out Guadeloupe, you know, so he must give me space for me to pass. Let me say a pleasant good night to all of you, the people of St. Joseph, and to thank you for the warm welcome that you gave me when I arrived at this meeting. I want to recognize my Prime Minister, Roosevelt Skerrit, all the members of the head table, and all you, the wonderful people of St. Joseph, here in this audience tonight. I love St. Joseph. In fact, tonight I was planning to take a break from these meetings because we've been on the road for a while now, finishing at 10, 11 o'clock. In fact, tonight I told the PM, you're not staying here until 10 o'clock tonight. St. Joseph people can say what they want, but you're not staying here until 10 o'clock tonight. You have to rest, my brother. Because for those of you who have been listening to him, you notice the little croaking in his voice and so on. He's recovering from the cold. But if running a country, you could do it on a radio station 24/7, then all of us should now be on Surprise Beach with our bath suit bathing. Because really, it's hard work, especially in these hard economic times that we live in. And for men who want to run the country believing that they can go on a radio station in the morning, go on a radio station in the afternoon, and go on a radio station at night, and Dominica will fix, we're making a sad mistake. And that is why our government realized that we cannot do that. Because you, the people of St. Joseph, you put your trust and your confidence in this government, in Kelva, knowing and believing that we have the ability to do something that will make a difference in your life and the life of your children and the life of our country. And so that is why we're here tonight running this series of meetings to inform you and to educate you as to what the government is doing. But I love St. Joseph, so I had to come. I promise I'm going to be short tonight. Because on top of everything else, it was here in St. Joseph I found my love, Monel. And I'll tell you why I say that. I'll tell you why I say that. Because I never knew Monel. I heard the name, and everybody all over the country heard the name Monel. Everybody know there is a Monel somewhere in St. Joseph. But it's after I made a little joke with her in St. Joe the other time, she called me on my phone making noise. Reggie, what you say about me? I'm going to sue you. And I said, slow down, darling. You misunderstood me. Let me explain to you. And by the time I was finished explaining to her, she understood and we became good friends. But our friendship didn't last for very long. But she became my friend. I want to say to you that I listen to Kelva all the time. And Kelva reminds me of when I was young, because I studied politics as young as Kelva did. And when Kelva decided to throw his hat in the ring, I said, boss, I've been in this thing. It's going to be tough. But if you love your people and you put your mind to the job, then you will do very well. And you must admit that Kelva is doing extremely well here in and around the communities of St. Joseph. And I ask myself, well, tonight is a very important meeting, and I believe the members of the opposition who have so much to say, they have a lot to do, they have a lot to say, and they cannot be identified in this forum to come to challenge the government and to ask your questions. Let us give you the answer from the horse's mouth. Because the thing about these people is they can say everything behind your back. They can say everything when you're not watching. They can say everything when you're not looking. But once you confront them and you stand in front of them with the facts, they cannot face up. And rather than the opposition would be here in St. Joseph, following the meetings, so could ask their questions, they in Roseau seeing how they can burn down the country and burn down Roseau. And while they're looking for Skerrit to burn Skerrit, Skerrit is right here with you in St. Joseph, going about the country's business. But I want to say to you that we can have our political differences. We can have our political issues, but it must not be expressed at the chances of destroying our economy and destroying our country. Because when Kelva said, like, we all live politics, even if we have our green card and our visa, we go away, but we still look forward to coming back to Dominica. And when we leave Dominica, we leave people behind, we leave relatives behind, we leave grannies behind, we leave children behind. And if we love our country and we love our people, the best thing we want to do is to leave behind a country that can be loved, that you can continue to call Sweet Dominica. And it's not our fault. If you live here, you commit your crime, you go away, and you hide in a basement in New York, it's not our fault. And you want to stay on Facebook and tell us what to do in the country. Well, come down, my brother. If you have all this wrong, come down. You don't have to give up your green card. But you don't have a green card anyway, because if you come back to Dominica, because you enter illegally, you go back door, you haven't got no green card. Because police was looking for you and you ran away. So you don't have no green card. But come down and make your contribution to development of the country. But you cannot stay outside of the country, link up with some crooks and some criminals, being paid by somebody or some people to destroy our country, and believe you can tell the little boy Skerritt how he must run the country and what he must do, and when he must run and when he must resign. Well, let them know tonight in St. Joseph that Skerritt and the Dominican Labour Party not running anywhere. Because we were put here by the people of Dominica. We won 15 of the 21 seats. They won 6. And I don't know which kind of maths, but there is no way 15 can beat 6. There is no way 15 can be more than 6. So when you take a look at 300 people and you go Roseau and you put fire in the city of Roseau, you want us to bring our people to Roseau and talk to you? No, we don't want to do that, because we have too much work to do, and that is just a distraction. So you, the people of St. Joseph, must send a very clear message to the opposition that you put us there by the ballot and you remove us by the ballot. And don't matter how much rallies you keep, don't matter how much march you keep, no matter how demonstration you keep, that is not sufficient to put Roosevelt Skerritt and the Dominican Labour Party out of government. Because, you see, we're not only here on our own volition, but we're here because you, the people, sent us here. And to you, the prayer warriors of the St. Joseph constituency, I personally want to thank you for the prayers that you continue to heap on the Dominican Labour Party and the candidates. And I want to thank you for all the prayers that you said for me when I had my challenges. And because of your prayers, why I can still stand up here and speak to you today. What I was saying to you, because I really want to keep to time, I really want to keep to time tonight. What I was saying to you, the difference between Kelva and myself is that Kelva is now in a period when, well, let me say, when I got into government in 2000, I see many of the faces here who were there in the struggle with us. And you know how difficult a task we had when we tried to fix this economy in 2000. In fact, some people said that if they knew that how it was, they were better where they were. But we had a mission, because we met a country and economy that was totally destroyed and devastated. We met an economy, and if I have to tell you what it was like, then we'll be here for the whole night. But the economy was so bad that we had to go to the IMF and the World Bank to embark on a structural adjustment program and the economy. So when I came into government, that is what I met for the first 10 years. Misery and more misery. In that period, ladies and gentlemen, we lost 2 prime ministers working hard to fix the economy. And they died with their boots on. Rosie died on Sunday morning when he came back to country on Saturday after 2 months outside of the country trying to raise the revenues to fix the country. Pierre Charles, of blessed memory, he died one afternoon after cabinet during the austerity program. When you remember that how he was booed and he was called stupid. In fact, every time Pierre Charles spoke on the radio, and he's going to die too. But with the help of the people in St. Joseph and by the grace of God, After 17 years, Roosevelt Skerrit is still here. Whether you like it or not, but look at the records. Look at what we have achieved in difficult times, and tell me which other prime minister has achieved as much as Roosevelt Skerrit have achieved. But the difference with Kelva is now at a time when the economy is moving sources to pour back into the life of the people of St. Joseph and the country. And that would only have happened had it not been for the wisdom and the brightness and the creativity of Roosevelt Skerrit and the Dominica Labour Party. And they say, we're giving away money. Well, you cannot give what you haven't got. So if you're admitting that the government giving away money, you also admitting that there is money to give. In an economy where agriculture is being challenged, which was the mainstay of our economy, every aspect of the crop life, whether it's citrus, whether it's bananas, whether it's dashing, whether it's yam, tanya, tonight the Prime Minister was telling me that he had to destroy all his corn supply, that just destroy anything. What is with that? Solely and on agriculture. So what do? You can throw your hands in the air as a government and say things are bad. It's not with that make the world difficult. America have a problem, England have a problem, so we have problems too, and go on Q95 and go and talk foolishness. You have to find a way to make it work for the people of Dominica. And we found a way to make it work. But we didn't discover and invent that way. And I'm talking about the Economic Citizenship Program. Because when we came in 1993, there was a program started by Eugenia Charles, and that is where the Lyre River got most of its funding from for its establishment. Edison James and the United Lucas Party came in, and they continued. In fact, they fixed it by not allowing the people to come to Dominica to do their interviews. So you could just write, say you want to come, and they tell you, boy, you have money, come down, they give you a passport, and you go back up. We fix it. We call it Citizen by Investment Program. There are two aspects to it, but the aspect I like is the one where to become an economic citizen, you must invest in an approved project by the government. And that is why our program is being so successful, because we have been able to attract investors who are willing and prepared to come in and to put their money in the beautiful country called Dominica. But I'll say to you that not only Dominica have that program, they have it throughout the Caribbean, and so many countries in the world have that program. The difference is our program is more successful than a number of programs they have running outside. And remember, to raise it now, they have a problem with this in my investment program. And I want to really recognize, and I'm not sure if I should do it, but a gentleman in our midst who is the architect of the Kapinski Hotel, which is being constructed under the program in Portsmouth. The gentleman is here, he's worked very hard, and he's really made the CBI a flagship program for the entire region. Because not only the Kapinski Hotel is doing well, but we have another 4 or 5 hotels doing well in Dominica. And you have heard several times that we only have about 800 export-ready hotel rooms in Dominica. That means we can attract people. We haven't got conference space. We can keep a big meeting. A little CARICOM meeting, we can hold it. We have to give it away because we don't have sufficient hotel rooms and hotel space. And if you have to attract the kind of tourists and make the dent that we have to make in the industry, you need to be able to have fine hotels so people can come in, enjoy themselves, enjoy the seawater and leave. And that is why it was necessary that we had to establish a few hotels to boost our tourism product in Dominica. And we're doing that successfully, and people are investing. And had it been a fly-by-night program, men would not take their millions of dollars and invest in Dominica. And these men have been in business for years. So it's not their first outing in business. And these men have sharp eyes. They can see an opportunity where it exists. And they see an opportunity in our citizen by housing, especially for the St. Joseph constituency. And they gave me some notes that doesn't make much sense to me, because they're saying that we've only spent about pretty close to $1 million on housing in St. Joseph. But I know we probably spend more than that, Kelv. I don't think I just got that this afternoon, and I don't think that the arithmetic is right. But we can. But even in recent times when we set up the washroom, asked me if I'm a consultant in sanitation. And I was going to say yes. But just when I heard Joseph Isaac on the radio saying that he's a management consultant. And I personally believe that it's an insult to real consultants now. Whether you're at the hospital, for Joseph Isaac to be publicly saying, because his friends invite him to give a lecture a speech at the Manufacturers Association AGM, where they pay him a little $250, a little $300, and to go on the radio and say you're a business consultant. A little bakery you have in Portsmouth, it cool on you, you can run it. A little bakery. And my grandfather told me that the only two things that can make money in Dominica is bread and rum. Because you can add water to flour to make bread. The more water you give it is the more you get. As for rum itself, you add water to the rum, you add water to the baby rum, you add water to the liquor rum, and when you finish, you add water in the barrel and you still get in rum. So the two best investment is in bread and in rum. And the little bread bakery you have, that cool on you in Portsmouth, the land you can pay your rent, your lender that take all your equipment and throw it in St. John's School yard, put it outside, then they could try and cover it with plastic for you and so on, because they used to give them little bread now and then give little bread and so on. You can't pay your rent, you can't pay your social security. So what kind of business consultant is that? Well, all of them are consultants. So Lennox Linton is a radio consultant and a speech, not a speech consultant, no, a speak consultant. Because if speaking could bring riches, then Dominica would be too rich for itself. Parler, 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 rien pas qu'à faire. Then you have Luge is a consultant in violence. Sikiri is a psychiatric consultant. Yeah, but, well, I'm not going to tell you what consultant Monel is. I'm not going to tell it. I'm not going to say anything about that tonight. Nobody not catching me tonight. I don't have plenty of time to talk. All I'm telling you is Monel too is a consultant, but I will not tell you what consultant she good at or what consultant. No saying. So let's go back to housing. I just had to drop that on the side. But the washroom program, and we have spent here in St. Joseph, in Bells, we've spent and approved $187,000 in the provision of washrooms for 17 families from Bells. In washroom facilities in Bells, facilitating some 11 families. And that money has been sent to the constituency. And in Layu, we have spent about $198, almost $200,000 in Layu on the washroom program. And that money, I understand, is now being processed. And very shortly, that money will be made available to the St. Joseph Village Council. Because washroom, what is that? Pit latrines, what is that? I'm not going to describe that tonight. I don't have the time. But for those of you who may be 50 years and over, know what a pit latrine is. Young people wouldn't appreciate that. Because when they grow up, they met flushing toilet. So if you tell them about pit latrine, they don't know what you're talking about. But for those of you who say from 50, 60 going up, you know exactly what a pit latrine is. The human indignity that you suffer as a human being to have to be using a pit latrine, to get up in the night, whether rain falling, sun shining, to walk out to the pit latrine there, and to come back inside, close your door, and ask for what happened inside there is another story by itself. Entry. So the government launched a program to eradicate pit latrines in Dominica. And rather than embrace the program, they criticize the program. They criticize the program. Today, all of us can testify that that was one of the most innovative social programs Roosevelt Skerrit could have imagined. And our hope is by the end of 2017, we would have eradicated every single pit latrine in Dominica with monies coming from the Citizen by Investment program. We have already spent over $12 million on that, and I suspect we have another 50 million to spend on it, but $50,000 million is not too much money for a caring government to spend on you, the people of St. Joseph and Dominica. And if that is giving people money, then we're happy to give people money, and we'll give people more money. We'll give people more money. If that is what they consider to be giving of NEP, or we give you money for small business, or we give you money for your computer room, or we give you money for housing, this is not giving money. This is attempting to change and to transform the life of a people who have been calling for change and transformation. And all we're doing is listening to the cry of the people of Dominica and the people of St. Joseph. And God has graced us and blessed us with the resources. But I want to say to you that will not be here with us forever. Like everything too, that will pass. So we cannot sit down here and take comfort in the fact that we're raising money from the CBI program. Because if it is left to the opposition, based on what they do, and ask America to stop the program. They went all across the Caribbean preaching doom and gloom against the program because they want to stop monies from coming to the treasury so the Dominican Labour Party can take care of you, the people of St. Joseph. And they tried to burn down also in February and in St. Joseph. And have no fear, Scarlet is well protected, very well protected. And so we have to use the Citizen by Investment Program funds to create a sustainable economy, to build a base now, fix the roads, fix the port, fix the village roads, housing, education. So whenever anything happens and we cannot get the resources from the CBI, we have the hotels, and this will create sustainable jobs and sustainable employment. So just before I leave though, I need to speak to the issue of the persons, what's happening in Hillsborough Gardens. Just on the 24th of March, that's last week, we signed 2 contracts for development of roads in the Hillsborough Gardens area. One contract with Gerard Richards. Is Gerard in here? Gerard Richards. And another contract with Ralphson Charles. Those 2 contracts are worth in the excess of $400,000. They're doing 592 feet of road and drain in one area, and they're doing another how much road? I think about another 5 and another 8. 17 lots. So you, the people of St. Joseph and the St. Joseph constituency, can give an opportunity to obtain a piece of St. Joseph. And we have a second phase of that project. Which will include the construction of about 1,500 feet of road, and that will lead to the area where you already have your houses built. There's some of you who have bought the land houses. We have a project which I understand will start in the next couple of, pretty much in the region of $750,000 or to $1 million. All this money is being raised from the Citizen by Investment Program, and we'll also find another 12 lots that will be made available again for you, the people of St. Joseph, to ensure that you can be given a piece of St. Joseph to call your own and to bequeath and to live to your children. And finally, I want to say to you that I know that some of you are concerned about the receiving of your certificate of title for your property that you paid for in Hillsborough Gardens. But I want to tell you that on Tuesday next week, a cabinet decision will be taken which will allow you the opportunity to receive your certificate of title for your property in Hillsborough Gardens. We had some challenges with the legality. Remember, we had a company when we started with some board members from Trinidad, and we had to give up the title as our collateral in the project, because remember when Vince was there, we had this massive Hillsborough Garden. That is where the Hillsborough Gardens, Henderson, he's the ambassador. And we had, so the company is now dissolved because the company has not met for a number of years and so on. So we have a legal basis for dissolving the company. And that company has been dissolved, and there's a cabinet paper that will go to cabinet on Tuesday, which will seek cabinet approval to reacquire the land at no cost, of course, but to go through the process. There's a legal process you have to go through. We'll reacquire the land, and we'll be seeking cabinet's approval to have the legal affairs department begin to fast-track the processing of your certificate of title. So it starts with the cabinet on Tuesday, and I want to reassure you that shortly after that decision is taken, within the next couple of weeks, we'll show you that before the end of the Hillsborough Gardens. So you can now use your title, but also can guarantee your children's education. Because although the government is deep into education, as Kelva told you, we're doing a lot for education, but the government can never meet 100% of the cost of your education, especially overseas education. We can meet 75, 80, 85. But you yourself, because the government is not obligated to help you to send your children to school. We will build the school for you, we'll pay the teachers for you, but we have no legal obligation to pay your school in university. Society, you're on your way to prosperity. And so you will have your title, and you will be able to assist your children, help yourself to put to what the government is giving to you to help your children to go to university, wherever it is. And as you know, the government have scholarships all over the world. But even when the government gives you a scholarship, you still have to send a little change for those children to keep them going, because they are children too. So brothers and sisters, I want to say to you that you have a government who cares. The thing about it is you cannot represent people if you don't love the people. You cannot be always wax and tell people, now I see they play with babies. Now imagine Leonard Clinton have babies on his shoulder playing with them on Facebook. Could he? But life is funny, eh? Leonard Clinton. And if you see the little boy face, he have the little boy on him, but the little boy looking away from him. You know, now when you have a baby, huh? Say, check out that baby so Leonard Clinton there and the baby there. You cannot run a people. You cannot want to run people if you don't love people. You have to learn to smile to people. You have to be nice to people. You have to say hello. And not because they don't tell you hello back. No, say hello. Some of them will turn their back on you. They won't answer you. They will troops for you. But you have an obligation to say hello to them. You have to greet people, ladies and gentlemen. And that is what we have in Roosevelt's Garrett and the Dominican Republic, a people's party, a people's government. And that is why they can do what they want. The people of Dominica will continue to vote for the Dominican Labour Party. And that is what they know. And that is what they know, why they want to put the government out by force. That is what they know, why they say there will be no more election in Dominica. That is why they know that they're prepared to burn down Rosso and burn down Dominica to get rid of Roosevelt Scarry and the Dominican Labour Party. But if it's man, you man, come in the ring. If it's man, you man, come in the ring. Let's banter. Let's fight politically. But the minute you decide to move a government that has done nothing wrong, that you cannot prove has done nothing wrong, and if you have taken a position that you're going to put the government out by force, it seems to me that because you cannot put them out in no other way, you have chosen the extreme. But that will not happen. As long as, ladies and gentlemen, good night, and may God bless you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, Bunzi, yes, Bunzi. Reggie at his best. But I'm very happy that Honorable Austri made mention of the... Hello? Yes, I was saying, I'm very happy that Honorable Austri made mention of the land at his regarding and the title for the individuals. Because one thing he forgot to mention to you was that after a number of the residents of the area came to me and raised that concern with me as a power rep, I took the matter to cabinet on your behalf, the people of St. Joseph. And I wrote to both the Minister of Housing and the Attorney General to inquire about the status of the title of the land for the residents of Hillsborough Gardens. And this evening, your question has been answered. Representation, my dear friends. And ladies and gentlemen, we are nearing the end of our meeting. And we have one more speaker to go before your questions and your comments. And at this time, I want to introduce to the podium the Prime Minister of the Commonwealth of Dominica, put your hands together for the Honorable Dr.
Thank you. Well, you know, good night, everybody. You know, the opposition has a slogan these days which says, "Scare it must go." But I say to them, scare it must go on to build a new hospital for Dominica. Scare it must go on to build homes for the people of Dominica. Scare it must go on to continue creating opportunity. It must go on to build a 5-star hotel for Dominica. Scare it must go on to build the geothermal plants to bring cheaper light bills for our people in Dominica. And Scare it must go on to continue raising the monies required to bring a better way of life for the people of Dominica. Scare it must go on to build homes for the people who lost their homes during Erica. Scare it loving the people of Dominica. And Scare it must go on to work even harder for his people. And when the going gets tough, Scare it must go at the feet of the Almighty God for help, guidance, and strength. And Scare it must go in 2037 when it gets to age 65. Joseph tonight, my dear brothers and sisters. I want to first greet you, the residents of St. Joseph and the St. Joseph constituency. And I really wanted to be here this evening because St. Joseph has always been a party, a community that has been true. At the end of the day, you remain true to your word. And I can tell you publicly that St. Joseph is a place I always wanted to represent in Parliament as a Parliament. But you have Kelva now. I want to recognize Honorable Austria, Honorable Drago, Honorable Lady Daniel, Honorable Attorney General, and also our dear Pal Rep, Honorable Kelva Darrow. And we'll all agree that Kelva has been able to provide you with a very comprehensive report on his stewardship. And that is what the Labour Party wants our Pal Reps to do. To stay in touch with the people, to report to the people on what you're doing for them, from them, so that we can better represent their interests. So this is what these town hall meetings are all about. To hear from us, but more importantly, for us to hear from you, the residents of these communities. I know you have certain interests and certain challenges here in St. Joseph. And I know some years ago, we acquired the land just by the bay there with the intention of building a marketplace and a community center. I have said to the Member of Parliament, that we need to finalize the preparation for the construction of this marketplace and community center. And as early as next week, as early as residents on this very important facility. Once I can receive the designs and the costings for this marketplace and community center, the government shall make the funds available to build this marketplace once and for all. Housing continues to be an important challenge here. We have done some work in building new homes, in improving existing homes, but there continues to be a challenge. I have before me the names of 25 individuals, families, who need new homes in the village of St. Joseph. 25. And I also know of some of you. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I am committing to build 15 new homes for the residents of St. Joseph and an additional sum to help improve your existing homes. A total of $4 million that'll go directly to housing improvement in St. Joseph. In respect, Dominica, by the end of 2017. Because if you look at our manifesto, we had indicated in the manifesto that we would like to eradicate pit latrines by 2020. We're seeking to advance that date to eradicate pit latrines in Dominica. And we have a list that have been presented by the Parliament of 30 people needing washrooms in St. Joseph. A total of 3 to residents of St. And these funds, ladies and gentlemen, are available. And I hope your Parliament and the Ministry of Housing can move very quickly to construct these homes and improve your homes here in St. Joseph. The Member of Parliament has asked for an additional 20 people to be added to the National Employment Program. And those 20 persons will be added to the National Employment Program numbers. The Parliament has indicated that discussing assistance, and from the report from this consultation, we will make a commitment to providing the resources required to assist you in either your existing business or a new venture which you wish to enter into in St. Joseph. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are some of the commitments which we're making. Of course, has approved those funds, and they are in the Ministry of Constituency and Council to implement and to improve those roads here in St. Joseph. And one of the most important roads is this road from the gas station all the way back to Layo, to include the construction of retaining walls in certain sections of the roads to improve the safety and enhance the safety of our citizens here in St. Joseph and Layo. And of course, the Parliament spoke about the $2 million. You live in St. Joseph, and only those farmers who go up there will see the investments that the government is making on this feeder roads in Kaho. $2 million. $2 million contract signed and work has started on the Kaho Road to benefit the farmers of our country. Across the country, ladies and gentlemen, we are currently constructing some 12 feeder roads for our farmers. 12 feeder roads. And we have just received some 15.4 million EC dollars from the European Union to provide assistance to us here, as a form of assistance to us here in Dominica. And as the Minister of Finance, I have allocated $10 million of these funds to go towards agriculture, especially the improvement of feeder roads across Dominica. So $10 million will be spent again in agriculture to help assist the farmers, in improving their yields and thereby making more money for themselves. So we continue to invest heavily in agriculture. And the Minister of Agriculture pointed out to you the funds and the level of assistance which the government provides to agriculture for the provision of free inputs, the provision of subsidized inputs, and critically, the $10 million that we have placed at the aid bank at 3% interest and a grace period of 6 months on the payment on the principal and the interest. 6 months. And what we have done, ladies and gentlemen, is to indicate to the bank that persons borrowing from $1,000 to $15,000 will not require any collateral, no security. Because we recognize that there are many farmers in our country who are either working on somebody's lands or they may be working on their lands, but they do not have a title, and therefore will be unable to present a certificate of title to the banks to get a loan. So I'm urging the farmers of St. Joseph to go out there to the banks and contract those loans to help you on your farms, to increase production and thereby making a better way of life for yourselves and your family. And the minister has also indicated that it is not limited to 3 crops. Those of you in fishing can access the funding. Those of you who involved in livestock can also access the funding, providing you as high as $75,000 for your investments on the farms. So I'm urging you, my dear brothers and sisters, to go out there and take advantage of the $10 million which the government has placed in the aid bank to help you. We've also placed $1 million at the aid bank at 2% interest and a grace period of 12 months to assist those, and a 12 months grace period, ladies and gentlemen, to help those in the music industry. We also have at the aid banks at 3% interest and a 12 months grace period for persons who are interested in improving their hotel plans or the tourist or the restaurants to make it more attractive and thereby more competitive. And I'm urging you, those of you who have restaurants and those of you who have hotels, to take advantage of this very important facility at the aid bank. With regards to infrastructure, you will have seen, ladies and gentlemen, that the Chinese have started work on the West Coast Road. This is a major investment, a major gift given to us by the government of the People's Republic of China. And we have to be grateful to them. We must say thanks to them, because that West Coast Road will involve the construction of 3 new bridges. And you can understand the sheer cost of this investment. And had it not been for the Chinese to support us in that venture, we would have to fetch the money ourselves, a difficult task for this government. So we're very grateful to the Chinese government for making the York Valley Bridge. Those farmers who farm in this area, you'll see it, and that bridge is going very well. It has been financed again for grant from the government of China. The road from Lywood will also be reconstructed to coincide with the completion of the York Valley Bridge, making farms to the tourism sites much more easier and much more accessible. So we're making progress, ladies and gentlemen. It is not an easy task, because every challenge which you are faced with in this country, you need to fetch the resources to do it. And the challenges were further compounded with Erica coming upon us. And the cost of reconstructing homes and infrastructure, one has to appreciate that it is tremendous. And at a time when the world itself is going through a challenging period, the ability of the government to move so quickly in resettling people, providing them assistance as displaced people, we must all say that this government has done a remarkable job in this circumstance. The new national hospital, we're just going to remove or galvanize, and that's what we get in a coat of paint. But today, we are seeing a new hospital in the People's Republic of China. Base of this hospital, one of these challenges which our country is facing, the world is facing, is the issue of the cost of healthcare services in our country and the world. And it is becoming prohibitive for many families. And while we've been speaking for so many years about a national health insurance scheme and not being able to start it, the government felt that we should start at some point. So we decided in the last budget address to announce our intention to establish a pilot health insurance scheme to benefit a certain demographic of our society. And we decided to target the most vulnerable group in our society, our children, pregnant mothers, and mothers with children, single mothers. And I'm pleased to announce to you, ladies and gentlemen, that on April the 3rd, we shall launch officially the pilot health insurance scheme to benefit the people of Dominica. And what we shall do with this pilot insurance scheme is to study how it's working. Look at the challenges, look at the benefits of it, and to see how we can learn from these experiences to launch the National Health Insurance Scheme. And under this National Pilot Health Insurance Scheme, that scheme will provide the financing for those who require medical services locally. But it will also cover those who will require medical services outside of Dominica. And that scheme will cover as high as 80% of the total cost of your overseas bill, ladies and gentlemen. And these funds are coming, some $5 million, will be transferred to the DSS from the Citizenship by Investment Program to underwrite the expenses associated with the pilot health insurance scheme for our country. And even before we have launched and officially launched the program, there are people who have started to register. And we had to fly somebody out of Dominica, and the person needed a significant sum of money. And I was able to say, go ahead, authorize the payment from this fund so that family could access medical care in Martinique. So we're not talking here, ladies and gentlemen, about pie in the skies, which affect the everyday life of our people. And that is what some people fail to understand. To help those who can't help themselves. Experiencing different as a government confronting many families in our country. And when I hear people criticize the people who receive assistance, I say, woe be unto them. Because you must never grudge a needy person when that person is receiving help. Because that help, my friends, while we are the ones giving it, it is really not coming from us. It is coming from the Almighty God. And we have been able to do a number of things for our people, ladies and gentlemen. Because the Dominica, the world is getting, countries are experiencing profound economic and financial challenges. Recognizing that the world now, countries are looking more inward, more about themselves and less about their neighbors. We had to ensure that we created an avenue to access financing to help address the development and social challenges of our people. And this is why we in 2014 repositioned the Economic Synergy Program and called it the CBI to place our country in a position to better take advantage of this very important source of non-tax revenue. And we relaunched the program, putting in place better mechanisms for due diligence, putting mechanisms for more transparency and more accountability in the marketplace, promoting the country, promoting investment. And we joined forces with persons who were interested in helping us, those persons who became agents and promoters. And we have been able, thank God, to benefit tremendously from the CBI. But we always recognize, ladies and gentlemen, we always recognize that the CBI will not always be there with us. That the revenue from this can drop. It can drop, or it can disappear altogether. So it is not something that will be there with us all of the time. This is why we are investing the money wisely and appropriately. We invest in the money to create sustainable jobs in our economy. We invest in the money to expand the economy. We invest in the monies to ensure we can reduce the levels of poverty. Because when you build a home for somebody, when you build a washroom for somebody, you are assisting that person in getting out of poverty. Because poor sanitation is one of the biggest indicators, biggest contribution to poverty. The National Employment Program was established to provide young people, and we're using the funds from the CBI to underwrite. So the housing revolution, the small businesses and citizens themselves, to create jobs for the community people. All this are being done as policies of the government to ensure we can use the money wisely and for the benefit of the people of Dominica. So that's what we're doing. And this is why I'm saying to the country that the government, any political party who is suggesting to a government, irrespective of who the government is, to use non-tax revenue sources for recurrent expenditure is the most dangerous thing to do, ladies and gentlemen. Because when you go and you say that you will pay salaries to CBI, which is a legal requirement, you cannot go to the banks and borrow money and say that you will rely on the CBI to pay the loans, the World Bank obligations. The government has a legal obligation to provide education to everyone up to age 16. When we provide assistance to students who are going to college and who are going to university, it is not an obligation. It is because the government recognizes that it needs to help you educate yourself to come back and assist the country in its advancement. That's what we're doing. The payment of gratuity and pensions are mandatory. We must pay pensions and gratuities when people retire. And these things must come from your tax revenue. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, when countries are unable, when countries are spending more than they're making, they have to go and borrow to pay salaries. And that is a bad trend because it will never fix the problem. You must go and watch your fiscal policies. You must go and cut on your expenditure and bring it down to where you can spend less than what more. You spend less than what you're making and not spend more than you're making. Those of you who have small businesses, those of you who have what you are making, you'll be paid in the contract, then what sense have the contract? And if you have a contract and you have to go to the credit union to pay people, you're not managing the contract properly. Because your wage bill would have been captured in that contract. If you have a shop and you have people working for you, and you have to go to the credit union and the bank to take you up. As a government to be reckless, at the end of the day, we the citizens of the country will have to pay for it. Understand that. Understand that. And that is what happened between 1995 and 2000. The United Workers' Party was reckless in its management of the economy. And instead of telling the people of the country the truth about the state of the economy, they kept on borrowing money and taking money from Social Security to pay salaries. And when we came into office, we had to face the music and fix the economy of Dominica. And this is why we had to impose taxes on you, the people of Dominica. Every year we went to Parliament, we imposed new and additional taxes. We cut public servant salaries. We had to send people home. We had to impose a levy on the entire working population of Dominica to make money to correct the problem which the United Workers' Party created for us in Dominica. And any government, I'm saying you, any party that is telling people that it can pay more than what they're making, you are going to pay for it by way of increased taxes. Because the government cannot use grant money and it cannot rely on non-tax revenue to pay for recurrent expenditures, ladies and gentlemen. So I am saying to us, we have to understand this, that there are certain legal obligations, and those legal obligations of the state must be paid by the taxes which we generate, the income we generate or the revenue we generate from the taxes of Dominica. And that's what it is. So things like the Yes We Care program, the payment of the allowance for seniors 70 and over, the free medical care for people 60 and over and young and children 18 and younger, the programs. This party understands, and because this party is passionate and compassionate, policy programs to help the less fortunate and needy people in our society, ladies and gentlemen. Because this is why, if you look at the history of Dominica, governments have not built homes for people. It is when we came into office, we really launched a housing revolution to build homes for people. How many of you ever got small business assistance from previous governments? How many seniors got assistance from the government before this Labour Party government? Many of you do not even want to go to the hospital because you were being harassed with medical bills, even if you couldn't afford to pay it. But the medical services are free to you, the beneficiaries. But the government must find the money to pay for the medication, to pay for the tests, and to pay for the operation and the provision of the services. But we're doing so to ensure that more of our citizens can have a better way of life. That's what it is. It is not mandatory, ladies and gentlemen. So we have to appreciate what is happening in our country, Dominica, what this government is doing for the people of this country. Look at this. We were faced with Erica. We didn't go and hide under bed and start crying. We said to the people, we are faced with a challenge. It's a daunting challenge. But we shall rebuild Dominica better than it was prior to tuberculosis from Erica. And that's our commitment. And we're on the drive to do so. We are a developing country. We don't have natural resources besides our people. We don't have oil and gold and bauxite and aluminum. And countries which have all of these things, countries which consider themselves in the first world, countries which consider themselves to be developed countries. 10 years ago and 15 years ago, storms affected those countries, and people are still waiting for the government to give them a home. We here in Dominica, a small country with very limited fiscal space, we have been able to put several families in their homes after Tropical Storm Erica. And for the people up in the Savannah, for example, for the people up in the Savannah, we have signed all the contracts to build these 341 plus homes for the people up in the Savannah. 1,600 bedrooms will be constructed in Belleville-Chopin. All contracts signed, work has started. That's what we're doing. There are many countries in our region. Every single country in our region is facing challenges. High unemployment. There are countries who have to print money to pay salaries, to buy medication. It is not because this government is so wicked, these things are happening, because that's how the world is today. It is rough. It is rough. There are people in the United States and Europe with master's degrees, PhDs, who are unemployed. Not because they're not looking for a job, but because there's no job for them. Because things, though they have improved in the United States, they're still difficult. Millions of people, including our own family members, who reside in the United States, lost their homes, lost their nice homes they were working, lost their jobs. And in America, my friend, it's not here, you know. April or March 30th at noon, all your stuff on the lawn in front of the house, and new locks. But son is way in Dominica, bank take our house, and 20 years later we're still in the house. So many people lost their homes. There are people who go in from shelter to shelter, not because they want to be in a shelter. This is America. And in Dominica, we have provided rented accommodation for every single person who lost his or her home during Erica. And we're not only paying their rent, ladies and gentlemen, we've been providing them with a monthly allowance. Every family getting a monthly allowance to help them take care of themselves and their families. We didn't have to do that. That's not a must. It is because this government is compassionate and needing to assist these people, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm saying to you that we shall continue to work with you to address your issues. We have to, as a people, we have to continue to be positive. We have to think positively about our country. We have to do everything that is good for our country. There are some in our midst who believe that destroying and denigrating our people and our country is a way of life. But I have news for them, you know, ladies and gentlemen. They believe that when they go attacking and seeking to destroy Dominica, that it is Roosevelt's character alone that will be affected. All of us will be affected by what these people are doing to our country. All of us, ladies and gentlemen, when you have opposition elements in our country conspiring with people who have no interest in our country to tell the cruise lines they shouldn't come to Dominica, what would that mean to us, ladies and gentlemen, if the cruise lines were to listen to them? Understand this. And they're doing everything to see whether our country will blacklist Dominica. Every single thing to see if a country will say something negative about Dominica. They believe I am the one who's going to be affected. All of you here in St. Joseph and Dominica, ladies and gentlemen, will be impacted by what these guys are doing to our country. All of us. And you know, we have to, I find, ladies and gentlemen, that too much of us, this country is too much about party politics in our country. Everything, you go in church is politics. No, you have people who are interpreting the Bible based on who they support. When our children go to school, they are treated based on who the teacher is and who they are supporting. You go to a government department, you go to the hospital, people treat you based on who they think you're supporting. But I say to people, I always say to people, I carry out my functions as Prime Minister of this country, and I treat people the way that I would like to be treated. Because no Dominican can tell you, not one Dominican can tell you, and I have seen in my office thousands of Dominicans, and not one Dominican can tell you I have ever asked them, who do you support? At no time I have asked them that, ladies and gentlemen. I will ask you, where are you from? What's your name? What's your telephone number? But never have I asked somebody, do you support Labour or do you support UWP? And I have helped people who are in need irrespective of who the person is. And that's what it should be. That's what it should be. But when we want to treat people in a way, I say to you, go ahead. Go ahead. One day you will require that same service. Because everything, people are moving away from the professional ethic and professional responsibility and reducing everything to politics. My friends, there will come a time when we have to fight politics. There will come a time when there will be labor. But when people have decided and the good Lord has ordained a government, we have to work together to build our country. We have to work together. But, you know, these guys have already changed the politics in Dominica. Already changed the politics in Dominica. And I am happy we'll continue to reject that kind of politics. The politics of denigrating people. Reject the politics of disrespecting people and institutions and laws. And reject negative talk and negative vibes about our country. Let us continue to embrace positivity in our country. Let us continue to embrace a preaching of unity, working together for the common good of our people. That's what this government, that's what this party is presenting and offering the people of Dominica. When we come to St. Joseph, ladies and gentlemen, it is not to curse people. It is to hear from you about how life is in St. Joseph. How is your family? How can we help you? How can we work together to make St. Joseph and Dominica better? That's what it should be. It shouldn't be about telling people to put stones in their vehicles and go and stone people's places. It should be about burning people's places. I mean, you have here Dr. Firo, who is a doctor here, well-respected doctor in Dominica. What has he done these people to cause them to go and stone on his place, his business place in Roseau? That's what it is. You're the Muslim store. Over $3 million of stock destroyed. Destroyed by the elements, the negative elements in our society. Destroyed. To be a leader of a country is not preparing. My friends, I'm saying to you, beware of these people. Beware these people. Because if they do not even have power and they want to behave that way, can you imagine when they have power, ladies and gentlemen? Because I can tell you, the Constitution of Dominica, the Constitution of our country, gives to the Prime Minister tremendous power. But I have always tried to use this power in a measured way and with humility. I have never tried and will I never try, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what it is. But I will continue to stand in defense of the people of Dominica. I'll continue to stand in defense of the struggling people of Dominica and to defend the spending which the government is providing the monies to help you in the St. Joseph area and Dominica as a whole. And I will never stop helping you to make life better and more comfortable for every single citizen of our country. Because I believe, ladies and gentlemen, that as a country, as a government, as a people, we do not only have a human obligation to help the less fortunate, we have a Christian and biblical responsibility to help the less fortunate among us. And for me, that is what drives me, that I should not allow succeeding generations to go through the struggles that I may have gone through. We have to use our power and authority to help make life better for people in our country. And until I am satisfied and you are satisfied that your life is better from now, ladies and gentlemen, we will not stop fighting for you and defending you, the people of our country. So, if it's ready, go they want me to go, ladies and gentlemen, I may very well stay there with the help of God and the people of Dominica until my son Dimitri starts making children. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, wow. You can truly see this is a leader who cares and who is concerned about the people of this country. Put your hands together once again for our Prime Minister. Yes, Bonsi, yes, Bonsi. And let me just take the opportunity as well to inform all of the secretary as well, to inform all of the individuals and the business owners that will be having the meeting next Thursday, April the 5th at 6 p.m. at the community center. So that's where the small business is in St. Joseph. So we'll be meeting with you next week Thursday, April the 5th from 6 p.m. at the community center. All right? I also want to recognize my good friend, Miss Miranda Luke. She'll be leaving us next week for some medical treatment. And then also know to keep her in our prayers. Miranda, we'll keep you in our prayers as you seek your medical treatment overseas. So, yes. At this time, we will give you the opportunity to ask any comments that you want to make, any questions or any concerns, or if you want to just say thank you, take the opportunity as well. We have Oprah and Emily, they have the mics, so they will be passing around. And any questions, comments, or anything that you want to say, feel free at this time to make mention of it. All right? Yes, we have Darren here. Yes, Darren.
All right. Good night, everybody. Firstly, allow me to introduce myself again. My name is Darren Lloyd. And like many of us here, I'm a constituent of the St. Joseph constituency. And I came here tonight for a town hall meeting But I must say, based on the amount of individuals on the outskirts and persons in here, this is slowly becoming a massive rally. Now, our Honorable Prime Minister is speaking. I'm actually shivering because of how powerful this guy is. And this is the type of politics that I am interested in, development for people. Now, I have followed each and every town hall meeting from across our great nation, and I've learned a number of different things. But to generalize everything, I've learned of the importance of the CBI program as well as the importance of the NEP program. And I've seen that it's because of the CBI program that we are currently generating the funds that we need to assist in the development of our country. And because of the NEP program, we have seen a massive decline in the unemployment rate in our country. So I just wanted to recognize these great initiatives and commend our government for these great ideas. Prime Minister, I heard you mention that the geothermal project is currently on. The cost of electricity will be reduced. However, I'd like to know what are the long-term goals of this project, and also what initiative do we have to incorporate more for young individuals into the development of this project moving forward?
Thank you very much. Anybody else? Yeah.
Yes, good night.
Good night, everyone.
My name is F.L. Vidal from St. Joseph. I have a concern with my mother. She rents in a house, and the house is not good. When you see rain falling, we have to take a piece of plywood and put over the house for the rain not to wet her. So I need assistance from her, please.
Okay.
Because I have the land already. So if I can get assistance from the Prime Minister. Thank you very much.
Thank you, F.L. We're taking 5 of them. Yes, Mr. George.
Good evening. I have a question. Okay, my question is to the Prime Minister. I hope that the Minister of Health was there, but he's not, so I have to direct to the Prime Minister. With regards to the Oprah and the city man, with regards to the health insurance scheme, I know it's a pilot program. Now, we in Dominica, I think for the mass number of land we have, we are underpopulated. Is there any provision down the road to subsidize the mothers to assist them with the children? Sometimes they might be single and they might never have a health issue. They will be healthy, the child's growing, but the mother might be struggling or the father might be struggling financially. Unlike the French who give an assistance to their birth, is there down the road that something in line? Second of all, I know you are the minister responsible for social security. And based on the program of social security, you can determine the economic activity based on the number of people who work. To look at the employment, the employees at social security, the birth ratio doesn't encourage you to continue. Is there a policy, or is that just the employees have that the birth ratio at the social security need to improve to encourage others, because we need more children and more people in Dominica? And you reminded me, Mr. Prime Minister, that the government owes me, because I remember 2 years or so I did pay levy and I have not received anything back, and I know public service union is making noise, they pay levy, and I remember paying levy and nobody's making noise. Sorry. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Let me also point out that for the questions which we have to do within the community, my secretary is here, so she's taking notes of the questions and the people, so we will take care of it. Yes?
It's pouring down. Sometimes at night, I have to use my phone, my flashlight phone, to watch to if the river going down my shop. The last time when Erica passed, I was in St. Martin, and the amount of rain that poured on, I was crying, thinking of the shop. I don't think of nothing else than the shop, because that is my income as a self-employed person. I would like to know who responsible to come and build a wall, because they had some engineer that passed 2013 and said they were going to build a wall from the end of the wall to the end of the drain. And I want to know who is the person that's going to take responsibility to do that. I cannot afford that river to carry on my business place. So I would like somebody to tell me or send whoever they have to send. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll take one more before we answer the questions. We'll take one more. Question or comments? Yes.
Hello and good evening to everybody. And my country boy, Ms. You of health insurance. I think that's a very important thing for the country because healthcare is expensive everywhere, especially in the US. One of the things I would like to ask is, with the insurance policies that you're going to have or issue, is it going to be able to cover anybody if they need attention or medical in the US? And another thing is, I've not visited all of the hospital, but I pass around and I see the new building, and I'm very much impressed. And I'm looking to come back to work at the ICU. Thank you.
All right, I'll allow the Prime Minister to answer the questions that were posed to him.
Okay. Just in response to, in response to the young man's question, very profound question. In respect to the geothermal, we have development act. We've also formed, and we have directors as management company to study. We've gotten some assistance from the New Zealand government, and we've been sending Dominicans out to study in the areas relating to geothermal, so that we can have the local talent to be able to manage and operate our geothermal plant and program. In respect to the long-term benefits of geothermal, we believe, based on advice and based on our own assessment, that with the geothermal coming in, it will no doubt reduce on the cost of energy. The cost of energy is one of the main factors, the largest cost, operating cost for any establishment in Dominica, whether it's hotel or restaurant or manufacturer or agro-processor. And if we can, with the use of geothermal energy, reduce on the cost of doing business in Dominica, the cost of investing in Dominica, we expect that we'll attract more Dominica. The hotels will use those money and expand the economy, jobs for economy in a more competitive manner, and thereby attracting, sustaining our jobs and ensuring that we can see more growth in the economy. So these are some of the long-term benefits of the geothermal energy. Regards to subsidizing mothers who are children is an important point. We have found ways of helping them, but we have not had a specific policy on whether we would go the route of giving you a monthly allowance if you have particular children. I agree with you, the population is too small. And I believe that with the exception of the Prime Minister, no couple who is married should have less than 5 children. I mean, if the Chinese, because I'm a little busy and so on, so that's why. But if the Chinese to control their population had a one-child policy, if we want to increase it, then we must have a minimum number of children, and we need to address this in a very serious way. The problem is that's only in many countries. That's what's happening. People choose a particular career path. Children. It's something that we need to revisit very, very seriously if we to really maintain a growing population. Because what you're seeing in many villages is that schools are closing themselves. You understand? Schools are closing themselves. And in some villages you have more of an elderly population as opposed to a youthful population. I mean, there's some communities, very, very few, if any, children are being born in many villages in Dominica. So we really need to find a formula to increase the number of births in our country and to grow our population. Regards to the health insurance, my dear, we'll provide financing to cover somebody going out of Dominica, including the United States. So if the area where you can get the assistance, the medical intervention, the medical services is in the United States, then that medical insurance would cover your medical bill if you were to travel to the United States for that. So it does in fact cover not only the region, but beyond the Caribbean region as well. And that includes the United States of America. Okay? And we look forward to you coming back sooner rather than later to work in the ICU. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, PM. Any more questions? Yes, Toussaint.
Good evening to all. I am Marilyn Toussaint. Everybody know me. I am a single mother of one son. And for many years, I've been following the Dominica Labour Party, and I've been asking Mr. Darrow, as he's standing before me, the procedure in order to get out from renting and try to be a mother to have my own. You know, in time to come, I can say this is for my child or my grandchildren and whatever. So I'm asking again, what are the procedures in order to get to the lots that's available for sale?
Okay.
And please, I need an answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes, Brother Love.
Good night, sir. I must say good night to my PM and comrade. I have questions, comments, answers, and I have advice. I must say that it hurt my heart to see what happening in the community for the past time. I am asking of the brown envelope which we got estate up there, and therefore we'll get land to make houses. In fact, I have this envelope as a handkerchief, and I want to know about it. All right, that's number one. Next, I want to know what you all doing. You see the people that work in the NEP, in the school. I can work they have been doing. It hurts my heart for the amount of work they're working. What is the procedures? What are you going to do about that? I want to say that you spoke about Andari Cliff. In fact, Andari Cliff is a hazard. And I think that Andari Cliff, it is high time to fix Andari Cliff. Make sure we get a wall for Andari Cliff. We need it, MPM. We need
let's
it.
Listen.
It for sure. Yeah. When we go up to the police station, after the police have made a lot of work, to me as if like it's car home, the policemen and them walking going up. The police road need to look very good. In spite of how I see it today, we need to fix up the police road. I want to say something again. What I'm going to say is about the older people. There are some who get in $300.
Let's listen.
There are some who not getting at all. What we do if those who are not getting at all and they crying and they need it, and there are those who getting it? I'm telling you, and they are not even there. Some of them, they are dead, and the money have been still going. I want to know what's wrong with that thing going on. What's wrong with that? I need to know what we're doing with that. There are people, I was talking about constructors, who building the house for the people. Incomplete, my brother. And it hurting them. All toilet, all plywood, all wood. What we are saying for that? Somebody say something. I am saying that to say we have issues here, and I wish somebody would have addressed that for us. We have our problem. I'm saying that to those who they got assistance, right? We need to give others a break to get. And
let's listen.
Last but not least, there are people you all sent me to check to those who have or needed toilet and bathroom complete. There are people who are renting and they cannot put their toilet and their bathroom facility. So what are we going to do for that to those people who are renting and they cannot get? And what are the assistance you're going to give them to make sure that they get the assistance? And what about those who call upon you for the assistance just for renovation? It might just take a few galvanage to give these people attention. What are we doing for that? So please, PM, Pirate, please do something about what I say. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Yes, you have any?
is better known as Mercy and More. But I understand what everybody is trying to think and say. But it looked like Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit have been an insurance. He must be an insurance. Where all you working and pay all your money and insurance telling all you about act of God. And all you looking at one man like you have to build everything in all your life problem. Give the man a chance. All you want, all you turn, let the man live his life. Please, I have my concern, but I cannot take all it does on the man case like Linton come by my young and not even have $50 and make. All it does on the man case, because the man is the best at coming in my life. I see already. I never hear people talk about a government like that young man there. He was toys, now what that? Married money for shabby, it happened to all you. Stop embarrassed. Don't try to have the man like he do all you something. All you bought old land in the man. All you was there before the man. Don't try to make the man believe like he's all your problem. All you was old. I know how much man while I was growing up there had plenty money, plenty life better than you first. Roosevelt Skerrit. Stop stress the man life. Leave the man live his life. Because the man helping. Because I never see that. Not Mamo, not Edison James, and not even the North. Saul, leave me and us as labor Saul. Stop stress the man life.
Thank you, Rose. Thank you. All right, we'll take 2 more questions. Yeah, we'll take 2 more questions.
Yes.
Yes.
Good night.
Good night.
I'm Nilfia Boston.
Yes, Miss Boston.
From up the Mon. And I have a problem which I know everybody around here know in St. Joseph. That I have a landslide come down and cover the house. And I try to take it out. But I cannot and I do not get any help to assist me. From 2009, they said that they would make a gutter to carry down the water. And every time rain falling, the house overflow. And it's not me alone that have that problem.
We'll have 1 more question before we respond. Oh, yeah.
Thank you and his team. And I heard the Prime Minister talk. And what he said, it's very, very interesting for the people of Dominica. All I can say, the people of Dominica, let us pray for Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit and all his team. Let us go down on our knee every night and every day when we get up. We have to thank God and praise God for what Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit doing for the people of Dominica. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Atley area. And I heard about Kahum in the Krong Atley area.
Thank you very much. Let me just answer your we've done some work in that continuous rainfall. The road continues to erode. The plan is to do, like I said earlier on, is to do a complete resurfacing of the entire road, starting from the junction all the way up to the last end by Mano. The Minister of Agriculture made mention that we have received some additional funds for farm access roads under the BAM, and that is one of the main roads that will be captured this time around. So we'll do complete rehabilitation on that road. Ms. Boston did mention of the landslide next to home. We will look at the situation and to see how best we can assist in getting some of the stuff, the material that you have there, out of place. Yeah. Let me just say before we close, we appreciate your presence here this evening, and as your humble servant, we'll continue to visit you and to continue to ensure that we meet your needs. Thank you very much. We have some refreshments for you, so you can grab a drink before you leave. And have a wonderful evening, everybody.